What's going on, guys? What's going on? I'm super excited, man. Let's just play this real quick. Bro, a lot of people don't know it, but I'm a huge Destiny simp, bro. No, everyone knows it, dude. You know, you're not gonna get away from it, bro. Bruh. Anyway, so I heard on Twitter that this debate is absolutely fucking astronomical, man. Apparently people rage quit, dude. I heard Destiny goes goblin mode, dude. I am fucking here for this, my guys. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Capital punishment is not murder. Excuse me.
Capital punishment is not. Oh yeah, dude.
When you're the head of the executive and you're saying that your political opposition needs to be investigated, when we've already seen him fabricate indictments, calling out the specific.
People can be investigated.
Sorry, I know you are pretending to be a lawyer, okay? But generally
God damn, dude.
speaking, the president of the United States does not give direct instruction to the head of the Department of Justice to issue indictments.
You can bow out now if you're not
Okay,
going to respond to anything.
I'm out. I muted him.
Bye. See ya, dude. You're useless,
I
dude.
muted.
That is
Oh my god, dude. An actual lawyer rage quits a debate?
really manifestly dangerous. That is weakening our military. That is what you're advocating for.
But excuse me, you. What's sick and disgusting is the fact that the president of the United States is deploying the military that he knows that he can't do. You keep saying he's following the law. Well, then why was he complaining about not being able to do it with Minnesota when all of BLM was going? And he knows he's breaking the law. The disgusting thing is using your own military. What do you mean? What part do I need a professional? What other thing do you not know about? Tell me. I can educate you. Since apparently you know anything.
also
It was not on Twitter for you.
God damn it. All right, dude. We're in for a good one, dude. I'm set, dude. I'm set. I'm ready. I'm erect. Let's go.
We're going to be discussing the recent shooting and killing of at least one National Guard member in Washington, D.C. So on November 26th, 2025, near Farragut West Metro Station in Washington, D.C., there was a shooting.
God damn it, Destiny playing Final Fantasy Tactics, triggering core childhood memories, making me want to go put money in a game, you fucking asshole. Sorry.
Of two National Guard members, Specialist Sarah Beckstrom and Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. Sarah.
Can you believe that Hutch got up in his pussy feelings about like being mad at like Destiny playing video games while he debates? Like the dude was a fucking Twitch streamer for almost as long as Destiny, if not a little longer, when he was like working for Machinima, who played video games for a living. He's saying that he can't like debate while playing video games when like that's where a majority of the debates started happening. That's how Destiny literally got started. Like what world are we in that now like Hutch is like, it's rude to play video games while debating? Like, bro, what happened to the argument saying that like you have to be playing video games while on stream, bro? Even if you wanted to debate. Bring that shit back, bro. Our debaters were better when they had to be able to multitask, bro.
Sarah Beckstrom has since died from her wounds, and Sergeant Andrew Wolf is still, as far as I can tell, in critical condition. The suspect is in custody. He is an Afghan national, Ramanullah Lakanawal. Excuse my pronunciations. I'm very bad at foreign names.
Same.
There has been much discussion about...
And that even includes names from Europe, bro. Your guys' names aren't real.
Why this happened and who is to blame. Tonight's prompt is Trump responsible for the shooting of these two National Guard? Why or why not? We've got some great guests.
So Donald Trump is not directly responsible. He didn't pull the trigger, dude. But he did help get that guy in the country, the Afghan national, because he came from Afghanistan. He signed his administration signed the paperwork to give him the ability to be here, you know, because he helped us in, I think, in a pretty important way in Afghanistan, put his family on the line. No one, I don't know why he did it, bro. More information will come out. Is he directly responsible? No. But indirectly, yes. What level of guilt you want to apply to the president for things that happen like that? I don't know. He'd be more responsible than if like Jerome shot Chad because like those people were born here. Donald Trump's administration brought him in, but they brought him in for a good reason. But I wonder if MAGA's how they're tying themselves in knots over this. So this is going to be an interesting, fun time.
To talk about it. I appreciate you all for coming, and apologies for the little tech support at the beginning, but we have to do what we got to do. I want to give the mic first to Destiny, and we'll just kind of go around, introduce ourselves, give us opening thoughts, and what we have to say. Go ahead, Destiny. Open us up.
Okay, so I don't know if I would say 100% that Trump is fully responsible, but if anybody is responsible, he's pushed it basically as close to the line as possible.
True.
I think that Trump has engaged in behavior that has made all of the National Guards of every state and all of the federal police to have the most antagonistic relationship possible with all of the different states, or in D.C., just the territory of Washington, D.C. So I think that Trump has engaged in behavior that has increased the danger for all of the people that are deployed. I think that every single time a bad thing happens, I think that he tries to capitalize on it with some kind of policy. I would argue that Trump has been waiting for and loves these types of moments, and he's waiting for more moments like these to happen so that he can continue to expand on his executive power. Every time it does, we saw him jump on this as soon as these 2 National Guardsmen were shot. I think he deployed another 500 to D.C. And yeah, I just think that Donald Trump is engaged on a war path where he wants to invite as much self-destruction as possible so that it gives him more excuses basically to leverage and expand his executive power and authority.
Okay, we'll get into it as we
That's
go.
crazy.
Next up, Soy Pill. What you got?
Yeah, pretty much what Destiny said. I would add that Trump, is inflaming all of the tensions by, illegally putting the National Guard into all of these places. He's violating posse comitatus. He's going against the wishes of various governors and even the National Guard themselves, who say they don't need to be there and don't want to be there. Then essentially putting the blame on him by putting people in places they don't need to be and inflaming the tension so that when violent things happen, he can justify doing it more, grabbing more executive power. It is very clearly at least his fault insofar as this never should have happened and wouldn't be happening under a Kamala presidency. Obviously, Donald Trump didn't shoot these people, but also by the Trump MAGA-tard standard of Trump, the Biden administration letting all these illegals in and then saying, oh, well, it's his.
Give it back to him, bro. You want to run on the... Well, he was president. He was president. Yeah, dude. Well, Trump's president now, and everything still is worse. Is getting worse. So by your logic... You know what I mean? And they'll go, well, by your logic, you say that you always have to repair the economy before. And it's like, well, yeah, that's true. Except our economy was trending upward when Donald Trump took office and before Donald Trump took office. And now we're trending downward. We had continual growth and we were pulling ourselves out of a recession, out of a bunch of dumb shit, dude. We were on our way to good recovery. And y'all elected in a retard. Now we're about to... suffer the consequences of your retarded actions. Thank you so much. And they try to tell you that, like, oh, dude, even if you're a Republican and you don't like Trump, you're not part of the problem, dude. I'm not part of the cult. It's like, yeah, but you still helped get the guy in power that's destroying everything and fucking up everyone's life because you couldn't vote on principle. You had to vote down party lines. When someone's a convicted criminal, when someone has, been found to have sexually assaulted a person, essentially rape, you probably shouldn't vote for that person, even if you agree with their politics. That should be a line somewhere. You should have morals. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like socialism, mainly because socialism is a good vector for communism. I am a liberal. I like our system. I want to improve our system. I want to enhance our life with the system that we currently have because that's easier to do than to completely uproot our system and start over from scratch. No, thank you. I would rather repair what we have than throw all caution to the wind and hope that we get it right another time. No, thank you. So let's say someone who runs for office, who starts saying things from the Communist Manifesto, just because they're a Democrat, doesn't mean I'm going to vote for them. It's not going to do it. I would vote for the Republican in that situation because I think one of these things is a threat to our democracy and our way of life. Right? Hands down. Well, it's a principled position. that I believe in the sovereignty of an individual, but also democracy. That's a good thing. We should stand up for those principles, because a democracy can't exist without an individual. Because if we don't have individual liberties, a democracy becomes authoritative, majority rule. We can't have that. Anyway, that's a principled position. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle someone's on. If you go against that, I'm going to vote against you. Every time. I don't know why a Republican couldn't do the same thing. If you're supposed to be a super Christian nationalist that believes that God is all good and all of these other things, that's cool. Donald Trump spits in the face of all the things you believe in. Just because it might give you more power doesn't mean that you should do it. Like, you're supposed to live virtuously if you are a person that believes these things. And Donald Trump doesn't do those things. So you shouldn't be able to vote for those things, because it goes against your moral character. That's it. I shouldn't have to explain basic fucking shit like you guys are all autistic children. But apparently in 2025, you have to explain basic human concepts that we learned in the 3rd grade, dude. Our biases should be to truth, to the preservation of our democracy and our society. And anything that works against those things, we should push out. And anything that improves those things, we should try to integrate slowly over time, so we can gauge the effect of what's happening. I don't know why this is crazy shit. I know this is crazy to me. Like, this is end of the world shit for people. Jesus Christ.
His fault for letting them in. Trump's administration granted this person asylum, so I'm also going to give him blame for that.
Okay, thank you for being here. I'm sure we'll get into it. Good logic.
Yeah, I'm Joe Neerman, aka Good Logic. I'm a New York attorney converted into a podcaster, and the nonsense that the left is trying to. When I first heard the topic discussion.
Jesus Christ, dude. How the fuck does this man live with himself, bro? This man is a podcaster, okay? I don't know how big he is. He's way bigger than I am. And he talks like he's got a mouthful of marbles. How does anyone listen to you? Speak clearly. Enunciate your words. If you want to be someone that's paid to give an opinion, maybe like work on the quality of how you provide that opinion. Pull the fucking marbles out of your fucking throat and speak, you dumb motherfucker. Also, his line of logic, every time I've seen this guy talk, hurts me to my core. If this is like the lawyers that we're turning out who have to quit because they can't win cases because they're dog shit, this gives me hope for our society. The bad ones have to become podcasters.
Question was, Trump is to blame for the shooting of the National Guard. I actually laughed out loud that they could try to spin this, that what it starts with is a premise that everything Trump.
So remember, both Destiny and Soy Pill said that he's not directly responsible for it. But Trump has created an environment for hostilities to be at maximum tension, where we're on the verge of something bad happening. Donald Trump enjoys it when bad things happen, because then he can use that as like a bludgeon over people's head to say, well, look at these bad things. I need to send more troops. I need to enforce more will. Donald Trump wants violence to happen. Meanwhile, you have like all the states where he's sending troops. You have governors, Democratic governors, begging their citizens to behave themselves and not fuel the fire that Donald Trump is, essentially stoking. Don't add any fuel to that shit. And by and large, they haven't been. Democrats universally are less violent than Republicans. The only thing more violent than a Republican, and it's like by like a factor of 1, like 1.5. No, I think it was 1%. By a factor of 1%, are Muslim right-wing extremist groups. They were at 63% for level of crime, or 63 whatever. I can't remember what the actual reporting was, but it was like they were at 63, and conservatives for the past 2 decades or a decade and a half were at 62% or some shit. Like it was, you were like, what the fuck is going on, bro? But I mean, again, both of these systems of belief are informed by religious orthodoxy. So anyone who has religious orthodoxy at the core of them are going to be more likely to commit bad things because they believe that they have been granted virtuousness and righteousness from God, and that the laws of mortal men and the words of people like me and you have no effect to them because they hear daddy speak to them in their insane minds, despite the fact that people make up shit in their head all the time. Our mind is a very complicated fucking network of like electric currents and electricity and neurons that fire 1 billion times a second or some shit like that, dude. And it's constantly pushing thoughts in and out of your mind and subconscious, most of which you have no control over. And you want me to trust just you? Like, no. That's why we have systems of rules, regulations, laws, and we rule by committee. Jesus Christ, dude.
Trump is looking to do is motivated by evil. This is just an assumption that they build into whatever he says or does, that his objective is to just basically harm as many people as possible.
Didn't you do the same thing with Biden every time Biden had a faux pas? Weren't you just ranting and raving your cute little fucking hateful little heart out about shit because you thought like Biden was going to destroy? There was another fucking lawyer that he talks to that, like, because of diversity shit, this guy went full MAGA despite being a Democrat for 40 fucking years because he thinks his white rich kids are going to have a harder time getting into college. What a fucking retard.
Possible. And then they take a situation that they'll create a situation that is as volatile as possible and ratchet it up. Going back to Biden bringing in ridiculous numbers of millions of illegal aliens, letting them stream across our borders. Then
Donald Trump let this illegal alien cross our border. Donald Trump did that. His administration's name is on the paperwork. What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean, bro?
And trying to defend the criminal aliens. He's not even trying to get rid of your run-of-the-mill illegal aliens. He's trying to get rid of the criminals and screaming and standing in front of ICE and trying to stand in front of federal officers doing their performing their duty. And then they turn around and say, well, this is all Trump's fault, while the left is continually ratcheting up the violence.
Again, every governor from every one of these states has begged their people, the citizens in which they govern, to be good. We saw that with Newsom, and it worked pretty damn well, despite the fact that Donald Trump is breaking the law and alienating people and infringing on their rights and state rights, something that conservatives are supposed to care a lot about. These people are still being pretty good, by and large. You know what I mean? So ratcheting up tension? Who's ratcheting up tension? What elected official is begging to like get violent on the streets against ICE? Can you please name them? Please. With clips. I would love to watch it.
Ratcheting up just to how they want their side to be as angry as possible. You'll hear them say, go out there, march, go out there, march. You'll never hear the left say.
Really? Didn't you say that kind of language is okay in your debate with Destiny about January 6th? That Donald Trump never called for violence? He said, get out there and fight like hell and fight like your life depends on it. That language is okay. That's not ratcheting up tension. That's not drawing and angering people. That was your like line of logic in January 6th about how Donald Trump wasn't responsible for these things. And now you're like, well, now the Democrats are getting out there and saying, go out there and march. No kings. They're ratcheting up political tensions. Like, do you see how you're just a fucking liar? Like, Jesus Christ.
Make sure you do it peacefully. You'll never hear that at all. And then when there's this terrible incident, which I assume that the people arguing against me would admit at least that this is a tragedy, that Sarah Beckstrom was shot. Another person, I think, is still in critical condition.
Oh, I love it, dude. Now we're gonna make the appeal to like at least to tell us you're sorry for the violence to this right-wing person. Destiny, do not cave. Tell him no. It's not our place to sit here and shout down violence until the president of the United States is willing to de-ratchet political tensions. It cannot be responsibility of the Democrats over and over, always to be like, no, dude, we must be good people. We must be good boys. We get no political capital by doing so. At the end of the day, we should be good boys. Violence, political violence, is always bad. No one should be dying for their political opinions in America. Even if you have a shitty opinion like a fucking Nazi, bro. Nick Fuentes should have every right to say whatever hateful, bigoted shit he wants to. We have freedom. We can choose to listen to it. It's that simple. Nick Fuentes doesn't deserve to die. Tucker Carlson, in his defense of all of the Nazis and his war against the Jews, does not deserve to die. Hassan Piker, despite the fact that he's subhuman trash that shocks his fucking dog, and also is a subhuman piece of shit that lies to his entire audience and doesn't support the women that have helped prop him up and acted as many moderators for his community for years, and let them get into lawsuits where he promises to help and then do nothing to assist them, you know, they all still have the right to voice their shitty opinions. Dying for them is bad, okay? But if one side wants to keep ratcheting up political tensions, talk about civil war, talk about succession, talk about locking up their political opponents, laughing as Americans die, if they don't chill the fuck out, we shouldn't either. If they really want war, we should give them what they're ready for. What do we get? The whole, they go low, we go high. It makes us come off as assholes. It makes us come off holier than thou, that we're better than everyone around us. It doesn't do us anything. People don't like us. So why play the game when there's no winning because of it? Fuck that. Fuck that. And I know Wick is going to be like, oh, well, you know, they just got defeated in this. Nah, fuck that, dude. Donald Trump learned nothing from 2020. He doubled down after doing a fucking insurrection, and American retards put him back in power. Okay? Fuck that.
When I last heard, that I think they would admit that this is a tragedy. Then they turn around and they say it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault because he's trying to enforce the law, which is just preposterous.
That's not what they're going to say.
Getting into their legal arguments so we can break this down for all of you.
Okay, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Next up, Andrew Branca. Is that how you say your last name? I apologize.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Of course, I'm an attorney. I'm probably best known for the law of self-defense. I'm an expert, probably the preeminent expert in the nation on use of force law. And I do a lot of legal and political commentary. I think there's no rational view in which Trump has any legal responsibility for what happened here. We have an Afghan assassin who walked up to a woman with a revolver in his hand and shot her through the chest. There's only one person who caused that death. That's the Afghan rebel. We can engage in all kinds of estrogenic butterfly effects, and Trump is the bad daddy, so everything that happens that's bad is Trump's fault. But Trump has executive authority. Under Article 2, he's the democratically elected president. He's allowed to do things, including trying to ensure the safety of the American populace and its...
But when you operate outside of the law and use your justification that he who saves his country breaks no law, what the fuck are you talking about? Presidents are not kings. They are people that we elect to do a job. They have a higher level of, control in our society. They can thwart their will easier than other people, but they are still people. Okay? There's a reason why we have checks and balances and why not one person holds all of the power in our entire government. So, no, just because he was elected doesn't mean he gets to do whatever he wants. And just because he's using the idea of self-defense doesn't mean he gets to do whatever he wants. There are laws, there are do's and don'ts, there are moral oughts that we as Americans should uphold. We have a founding document written by the founders of our country that must be upheld above all else. Full stop. The fuck? You don't get to trample on that because you won an election. That's not how our elections work. It's never how they've worked.
City. And if bad things happen because he's doing things he's allowed to do, it's the bad people who made that happen.
Okay, and with that, let's kind of get into it as we go. I guess I'd start by reading a tweet from Destiny here.
Oh, God. Is this every time? Every fucking time, dude. Destiny makes a spicy tweet and Wick fucking soys out over it every time, man. Okay. Let's listen to this.
And I'm curious if you stand by this position, sir, and then we could just kind of get into the open discussion. You said on 9/15 on November 26th, you wrote as follows. They weren't protecting D.C. They couldn't even make arrests. They were sent there to die by real Donald Trump and his cronies so they could rile up the base to distract them from the monumental failing of every single part of this administration.
True!
Is that your current position, sir?
Yes, I think that Trump is trying intentionally to inflame tensions as much as possible so that he can expand his executive power as much as possible. One thing that you're going to hear over and over again in this debate, it's already happened in the opening statements, is remember, every single time a conservative criticizes a Democrat, it's about what they should do, what their moral obligation is, and what a good leader would do to guide the country. But whenever they talk about Trump with the conservatives, it's always what is the outer perimeter of legal actions that he is...
They do. They'd be like, look, this hasn't been tested. We don't have precedent for this. So they dance around in gray areas, but then like when it comes down to the other side, they're like, these are the moral oughts. They're like, all right, dude. Okay. All right. Well, cool story.
Theoretically allowed to take. There's no question of whether or not his leadership is moral or what his end game is on anything, although he would fail in the legal realm as he has been over and over again, and he would fail on these other two as well. But like the question is why? So for instance, earlier you talked about leftists celebrating violence. Why is Donald Trump incapable of saying that the entire country needs to be less violent? Why is he incapable of saying anything that equally criticizes his side?
See, this is
open discussion. So,
right, and this is what the left this is what you on the left tend to do. It's you're continually ratcheting up the violence, and then you.
How was he He asked you a simple question, you fucking retard. Okay, he asked you point blank. Why can't the president of the United States tell people to simmer the fuck down? He can say all people. He doesn't have to just talk about his side. Meanwhile, his side, while all this was going on, we're talking about civil war, fighting back protective violence or legal violence. They were trying to we're listening to a debate panel on Whick TV. Like, bro. Meanwhile, the Republican thought leaders were all being unhinged fucking loons. Crazy.
You're looking for an all sides type of thing. And to harken back, and I don't want to get into the whole Black Lives Matter thing, but when we look back at 2020, when we saw the whole Black Lives Matter issue rise up, it was considered an affront for people and offensive for people to say all lives matter. Now, I think that.
Yes. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? The reason why when we're saying Black Lives Matter and you say all lives matter, that's a bad thing, is because it's a universal concept that all lives matter. We all already agree to that. The black community is just saying, don't forget that we're part of that all lives. So when your retort is all lives matter, no shit, Sherlock. We've been saying that. We're trying to point out that Black Lives Matter too. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing crazy about that. How is a lawyer's brain broken on such a simple concept?
That if you actually step back from a practical perspective, you would agree that all lives matter. But given the context, the idea of saying all lives matter in that context was deemed offensive because there was some perceived unique, terrible position for the black community.
They came from slaves, bro. We had redlining laws like 40 years ago. You mean an actual fucking... Bro, more black people that live in our country are within poverty levels, okay, than most other ethnic groups in our country. Perceived? What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
And it was as if you were disparaging their genuine plight by just trying to make it a general concern. So when you come here, Destiny, and you say, why can't he...
It was a retort to shut down conversation about the question about whether or not Black Lives mattered. If you came out and said Black Lives Matter, that's very true, Stuart. Very true. If you came out and said Black Lives mattered, you aren't saying that white lives don't matter. You're not saying that all lives don't matter. You're reminding people that black lives still do in fact matter. After we watched a black man get strangled to death by a cop, we have video footage that what happened was bad. And the crazy thing is, Derek Chauvin probably didn't deserve to go to jail. He was doing as he was trained to do. The crazy concept is that shows that there's a terrible bias within the way that we apprehend people. Okay? They had to change the policy about how he was restraining that man because he killed him. It shows that there's an implicit bias there. What do you mean? Anyway. Dude, 2020 broke everyone's brain, and they haven't been able to recover, dude. It's crazy.
He just say that all sides need to dial it back when there's been just bludgeoning from one side against the other. It just sort of rings as if you're trying to just whitewash. They're like, oh yeah, both sides are bad, when that's just not reality.
Sure.
It's not reality.
Two really quick and easy questions. Did Joe Biden condemn the BLM violence?
Yes, he did. So did Kamala Harris. So did every Democrat nominee. Because they were asked on a debate stage. You know what they did? They condemned it.
I wasn't looking to
the answer. Okay, if you don't know, that's fine. The answer is yes. That's fine.
I'm like, dude, why do they walk into such basic shit?
No, wait. Well, I know you don't care because you don't care to make it factual. So the answer is yes, number one. And number two, did Donald Trump pardon every single January 6th protester?
We can't.
How is that
hear each
relevant?
other. Just
Don't
real quick.
deflect
Just
to
real
something
quick.
irrelevant.
I'm not deflecting.
It's not deflecting. Destiny asked, why can't Trump call to ratchet down the political tension? Instead of responding to that, our retard here deflected and saying, well, why would he? During BLM, if you said all lives matter, you were called bad. One, the content behind the statement is different. The intent behind all lives matter was not to de-escalate. It was to escalate between the two parties. Meanwhile, Biden called down the political tension when violence happened. He came out and said violence is bad. We can protest. We can be in the streets, but we can't burn buildings and we can't beat people and kill people. Like, he came out, he had a lot to say. It was a beautiful thing. Okay? So when Destiny asks you and he refocuses the conversation back on the point and says, how come Donald Trump can't do that? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't he pardon it? Dude, he didn't want to add that to the list, dude.
Brought up BLM. You brought up BLM.
You brought up BLM,
dude. No, I did bring up BLM, but I brought it up to make a point.
Yeah, your point is wrong. That's the point I'm making. That your point is stupid.
No, the point that I'm making is in certain situations, when you try and just deflect to saying, let's just make this a general message, it's ignoring the actual problem. You're trying to purposefully ignore the actual problem. In 2020, you wanted to. The left was saying that the other side is ignoring the problem by trying to say all lives matter. And what I'm saying is you're ignoring
I'm not asking
the
that
problem.
It was a super easy question. Did Biden condemn the BLM riots? Did Biden condemn the violence?
I have no idea. He wasn't empowered during the BLM riots.
He was running for. He was running for
office, and then he won the presidency with the most votes by any president ever. What do you mean?
for election because he was running for election.
Like the face of the Democratic Party.
You literally can't even answer. You don't even know. Why even bring up BLM? If you don't know anything what's going on at the time, then just don't bring it up. That was the first question. So the answer is yes. You can go research it later.
Why do they always not know? Like, that's like their defense. I don't know. Okay, well, now you know. So why don't we talk about this difference? Okay? Now you know. Now you know Biden condemned the violence. Right off the bat, as soon as it happened, now you know that he did that. Why the fuck is Trump not? Hello? Can we get an answer? Hello?
The second question is, did Donald Trump pardon every single J6 protester? Did he?
Gang, both of you, please. We can't hear when you guys are talking over each other, so I'd ask that, again, you wait for the other person to finish their statement, then you can respond.
Nah, dude, why don't you quit being a pussy, Wick, and tell this motherfucker to answer the question, and if he doesn't answer the question, you're gonna kick him from the fucking... Why do we give these people so much fucking free time? Why do we let them lie? Why do we run defense for them? You are a moderator. You know the truth. Pull it up, dude. Pull it up. Why do we do debates where these fucking debate moderators are feckless pussies? You have the internet. Let's fact check this shit. You should shut your fucking mouth and just fact check all fucking day. Why are you talking? Shut the fuck up, Wick. Why do you run defense for these people every time? Shut up. Our news media does the same fucking thing. They come on our podcast, our shows. We have these Republicans come on, and then they fucking lie. We know they lie. You know what happens? We don't ask them a follow-up question. What happened? Why are everyone these fucking pussies? We know the truth. We have facts. You can pull it up. You are a debate moderator. The main thing that should be getting out is the truth. If they lie, you stop the entire show and then you fucking hammer them over and over, and then nothing moves forward until they admit they lied or they bow out. Every debate. Stop letting them lie. Jesus Christ. And if you're not fit for the job, quit fucking hosting debates. Holy shit.
And I'll try to make sure that you aren't interrupted during your response.
What's up, Lou?
Logic, to be clear, in your intro,
I'll just real quick, Soy Pill. Yeah? Let Logic finish his statement, and then you can jump in and Andrew seems
Why? He's gonna lie!
No, I'm fine. I mean, I always
what
have
I'm
stuff
saying
to say,
is
but I'll let you guys go. It's okay.
I'll tag you in soon, brother.
He's about to yap and not answer either of those questions, by the way.
True.
No, my point is that you're trying to deflect into something that's relatively...
No, it is directly fucking correlated to his opening statement and the question he asked you at the beginning, you fucking retard. What the fuck? He asked you why Donald Trump won't condemn violence. Your response was, all lives matter is mean. He asked you, why did Biden condemn violence? And you said, I don't know, I don't care, not relevant. It's directly fucking relevant. These people are fucking liars, dude.
Meaningless as to whether or not he actually condemned it. Who cares? How is that relevant to the point I was making? The only point I was...
Because you were answering a question, retard. You weren't given a platform to say whatever the fuck you wanted. This was a back and forth. You were asked a question, and then you got on a platform and started talking about shit that had nothing to do with the question. So then they refocused the question. And then you complained about obfuscation. Dipshit, you're in the wrong room, bitch.
Because you said that leftists were trying to ratchet up the violence. What do you mean, how is it relevant? It speaks directly to the issue. Hold on, just one more. I'm going to do this one more time, and then if he doesn't answer, that's fine. So the first question...
No, you should not move past this, and you should hammer this fucking retard until he feels terrible for being brave enough to come on a platform where millions of people might see it and lie.
Did Biden condemn the BLM rights? The answer is yes. Did Donald Trump? That's fine. That's fine. Don't yap again. I just answer my second question. Answer my second
question. I answered it. I mean, you're answering a question for me, and you asked me a question, which I assume is a sincere question, and then you try to say yes, he did. So I say, when did he?
He did it on August 31st, 2020. Look up YouTube Global News. There's a video titled "Joe Biden Condemns Violence and Ongoing U.S. Protests." There you go. Look it up in your own time. Number one. The second question is: did Donald Trump pardon every single J6 protester / rioter?
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Right. So the reason this isn't irrelevant, God Logic, is because we're talking about how Trump has made the conditions for this violence to happen.
True.
Yeah, he didn't pick up the gun and shoot these National Guard members, but he's drumming up the rhetoric. And when you say, hey, the left never says be peaceful, Destiny brings up an example of Joe Biden explicitly doing that, and then we point out that Trump is refusing to condemn the right and is actually calling for the deaths of people in his own government, that this is part of the rhetoric that is causing these National Guard people to be shot. And you say, well, all lives matter. Oh, I'm deflecting to BLM. It's got to be a generalized statement. No, we're saying he needs to say turn down the rhetoric, and he's doing the opposite. He's inflaming everyone. He's getting people killed. That's where the blame comes from.
Well, first and foremost, I appreciate the promotion from good logic to God logic, but it's just good logic. And second, that's okay. That's okay. I just want to make sure we know what we're talking to here. But the
God, dude, the ego on this man is the ego on, like, dude. Wealthy people sometimes, man, they need to be backhanded every once in a while, dude. Both of these guys' ego is massive, dude. This motherfucker over here on the right, I am the most important person, the most experienced lawyer on this particular field. Dog, I cannot wait for you to crash out, dude.
The point that you're trying to make, as far as him escalating, you have to sort of have to step back for a second and ask yourself, what exactly is he supposed to be dialing back from the right? You're saying that the left is that after there's violence that happens, the left tries to dial it back. What I'm saying to you is, what violence from the right are you even saying that he should be dialing back? You're trying to sit here and say that he should be telling people on the right,
should hang members of our government. Well, you're asking me a question.
No,
when he says we should hang members of our government, yeah.
Through trial. Through trial. There's a very big difference between saying, hey, these people need to be tried for some very serious.
Really? Because I remember you bitching and complaining when they even took Trump to trial. And even when he was found guilty, you complained about that. Excuse me?
Crimes that I believe they committed
and murdered, yeah,
because he believes they committed them.
Capital punishment is not murder.
Excuse me, sorry.
When you're the head of the executive.
Oh, dude, he just had to jump in, bro. You could have chilled out, bro. You could have just chilled out and let good logic take all of this, dude. You could have just let that happen.
And you're saying that your political opposition needs to be investigated when we've already seen him fabricate indictments, calling out the specific bullshit. Yeah, that's fine, but the president of the United States isn't ordinarily. Sorry, I know you are pretending to be a lawyer, okay? But generally speaking, the president of the United States does not give direct instruction to the head of the Department of Justice to issue indictments. That's why the last two cases.
He's not allowed to do that. The president is only allowed to hire a department head. He is not supposed to direct the department to do his bidding. They are supposed to be separate branches. He hires the person then decides how they're going to do their job. And the job is supposed to be held to the strictest adherence to the law, and it's supposed to be upheld regardless of class. It never is, but it's supposed to.
They work for him.
Oh, that's great. Well, do they work for him, though? Because it seems like she wasn't even legally appointed, was she? Isn't Lizzie Halligan out now? Didn't all that get tossed now? Seems like it's all gone now, right? Huh? All right, looks like that wasn't very legal, huh? And now all of our cases are being looked at. So, no, that wasn't the case.
Also,
sorry.
Just real quick, Joe, no one can hear you on your channel.
So defensive.
Yeah. Okay.
Andrew,
well,
rule of law matters to some of us, so it's kind of annoying to see the president of the United States so flagrantly abuse it.
Okay, first of all, the Department of Justice works for the president. He can tell them what to do. They're part.
No, he cannot. He can hire them. You are not supposed to tell the Department of Justice what to do. It's supposed to be independent of the president.
The executive branch. Second of all, capital punishment is not murder. It's state sanctioned. People get a trial. They get lawyers. They get juries. And sedition was made a capital offense by Congress, not by Trump. Congress created that law. Third of all violence is not bad. Why do you suggest that all the violence should be tamped down? Violence is not inherently bad. Violence is
No one is saying that all violence is bad. Why would you make that point?
Person is good,
but Gen 6 violence is bad.
Wait, just curious. When we say the president,
let him finish. Let Andrew finish.
When we say
also, Andrew, you're really low. Can you turn yourself up? Your volumes.
When we say the president can give direction to the DOJ, is there any equivalent moment in the last 50 to 100 years of U.S. history where the president of the United States is directing his attorney general on who to prosecute, directing them on issuing indictments to political opponents, with even calling out the prosecutor they want?
How would you know? Those are private conversations.
Gotcha.
How
So
would
the
you
answer
know
to your question
whether
was
or not
no.
that's
The answer to your
occurred?
question was no. I asked if there's any evidence of it.
You're wrong.
There is no.
He didn't ask whether it happened. He asked if there was evidence. So right now, there's no evidence that it's ever happened. So the answer is no. We're not talking about matter of fact here.
No evidence of any of this.
100% there is.
What's the evidence?
Here's one of the things I'm about to tell you.
He's about to not tell us, by the way. Spoiler alert. Go ahead.
No, I'm telling you right now.
Bring it!
The role of the DOJ is to be manifesting the will of the executive. This is one of the things that during the...
So you know how he's not going to tell us anything. It's crazy. It's crazy how they never say anything.
It's a unitary executive theory. It's such bullshit. You guys don't even believe in this shit. You would lose your mind if a Democrat did this. It's such bullshit. Yeah, because this is a child's. You don't even believe in this. It's so retarded.
You're terrified of actually hearing an answer. So you have to cut me off when you see I'm making a point that actually just completely blows up.
Can I just short circuit it and explain it like half the time it's going to take you to stumble through it?
Hold on.
I don't want your short circuit.
It's such a bummer. Like, I would hate to be Destiny, because every conversation he goes to have, he already knows the point they're going to try and make. Then he has to sit there for 5 minutes while they fuck it up. It's crazy, dude.
Because you do not know. It's not unitary executive theory. It is the sole purpose of the DOJ is to manifest the will. They are part of the executive branch.
Manifest the will of who?
Branch, of the executive.
Of the president?
Of the president.
Then why do special counsels exist? Why do special counsels exist?
Special counsels exist for when there's a conflict of interest.
Why would that matter
That's
if they're
why.
only there? Wait, how could there be a conflict of interest if they only exist there to manifest the will of the president?
You're proving because the
Logic trap! Our boy just walks right into it. Just walks right into it. That's crazy. If their entire job is to manifest the will of the president, how could they ever do anything but? What?
the president can have a conflict of interest.
Yes.
How can he
You're
conflict with
proving
interest
my
with his own
point.
self, with his own Department of Justice?
Oh my God. Listen. Slow down for a second. Slow down, because I don't think you just understand basic civics about how our government
Basic civics,
functions.
but you won't
So
give me an
our
example of anybody
basic
doing what Trump
civics,
did. Go ahead.
Every single president has directed their DOJ to focus on one area of law or another that they think is particularly important.
Focus on one area of law? Excuse me, that's not what we're talking about. I mentioned that Trump specifically called for indictments for two specific individuals who are political opponents, and he named the prosecutor that he wanted to lead the... So who else has done it?
Again, when they talk about Trump, it's in the periphery of what they can do. But when they talk about Biden, it's a matter of fact. These people are feckless monsters. They would never agree with any of the shit they're saying if the shoe was on the other foot. And if you cannot do that, then you are on the wrong side every time. If it cannot be a universal truth for both sides, it cannot be.
Listen, so who did this? Did Obama do this? Did Biden do this? Give me the example. Everybody does it. Who does it? Give me an example.
First and foremost, Obama did it far worse. Obama did it far worse.
Give me an example. Who did he target?
No, Obama did it far more in a nefarious way, because what he did is he actually weaponized all of his different executive agencies to try
The
and
IRS
his
bullshit.
opinion.
He has no arguments. You have nothing for this. At least, can you at least concede you have no evidence of this?
Just real quick, just housekeeping here.
No. Wick, stop running defense for him. He's making a point. He needs to articulate that point. Why are you letting him lie? He's giving out fake news. It is your job as a moderator to hold him to account. Hold his feet to the fire. Why do you do this? Just for money? Just for views? You're not doing anything. Make him answer the question. You are the moderator. If he does not answer the questions, you mute him until it's over. He can leave. This is what it means to have a fucking conversation. What the fuck, man? Why does everyone just let him lie? Lie.
Gang, if you keep interrupting, we can't understand what they're trying to say.
Yeah,
So
I'm trying to
please
make a point, and
let
you just
the
also
logic
say
finish,
he's saying
and we're
nothing.
gonna go
He's
to
saying
Bronca.
nothing.
and then you can respond. I promise.
Apparently,
but
I'm saying so
gotta
much
let him
nothing.
finish, please.
You
Apparently,
say
I'm saying so much
nothing.
nothing. You need to cut me off in the middle.
You say nothing. You say nothing. No words mean anything that come out of your mouth. This is why you're a shit lawyer. You couldn't prove a point in court. Holy fuck.
The point is that he is, as the head of the executive, this is an executive agency. That is what the DOJ is. When you get Adam Schiff up there and he's questioning Pam.
What evidence do you know of that other people have done this in the past? That was the question that you were supposed to be answering, that you refused to answer because the answer is none. Right? Why are we running this fake game where you just run your mouth like Hassan? Answer the fucking question. Stop deflecting. Stop running. Own your argument. Holy fuck.
Bondi saying, I'm afraid you're going to be Trump's man. It's for a woman. The point is, she's supposed to be.
No, they're not.
Otherwise,
That's
she's
just not
fit
true.
for
You're
it.
lying. You're lying. That's not true.
Merrick Garland was 100% Biden's man. That's exactly.
Then why?
No, he wasn't.
It was a special
that Biden was the
prosecutor
actual
appointed to investigate Biden's documents.
Because when you have, you're only proving my point.
That's why. That's
How am I
why.
proving the point? No, because the point is that if the president was the unitary controller of the attorney general, the president would tell the attorney general, don't investigate this. You see how
Yes! Basic logic! Oh my God, bro.
easy that is? You see how stupid your theory is?
Destiny, think for a second. If it was already an independent agency, there could not be a conflict of interest between the DOJ and the president. It's because the DOJ is an extension of the president that you need to have some internal affairs type of agency, which we call.
What internal affairs could you have? If the president was the be-all, end-all and it's his will manifested, what conflict could ever happen? No one could say no. It's his will to be manifested. What conflict can be there? Do you not see how, if by your logic, a special counsel can't exist? It's his will manifested, bro. What?
Special counsel or special prosecutor to go after someone who's in the president's orbit. That's why you
Why
need
wouldn't
it.
the president
Because
just tell them,
DOJ
don't do
is
that
the
investigation?
fault.
Why wouldn't the president say just don't? Why wouldn't the president say don't investigate that?
I'm almost done. Because of the fact that the DOJ is viewed as an extension of the president, when there's something around the president that.
Okay, so if that's true, why was it in Trump's first term when he tried to force the DOJ to do things, and they kept telling him no? Why were they able to do that? Why did so many of them threaten to resign if he did appoint someone that was going to do his bidding? Half of his DOJ was going to walk out on him in the 2019 election leading up to 2020. If they are supposed to do his will, why did he ultimately cave? If it's written in a document somewhere that they're his little butt slaves that does whatever he wants, why did they tell him no? And why did he ultimately back down from trying to force them to do things? That's weird. But it's his will manifested. They do his bidding. That's crazy. That's crazy. How dare they ever say no? Did they not know that their job is to do whatever Donald Trump says? Jesus.
Might be illegal. That's why you need a third-party special prosecutor to come in. That's what you need. It's the proof that they're actually defaulting, that they are part of the executive agency, part of the will of the president. In fact, that's the only way we, the people, have any power over them is through the president directing them. That's how we actually have representation in who's being.
We don't have power over the Department of Defense or the FBI. And why would we? We don't elect people into those roles. The power that we have is that the president can hire these people. And then they're supposed to work autonomously of their own will to uphold our laws and constitution. What?
Being prosecuted. Now go ahead with your question.
Sure. So two things. So just real quick. So one, there's a difference between having a legal agenda and directing somebody to prosecute particular political opponents. You acknowledge that, right?
Why? No. Why? Why would that be? Why is that different?
What? Saying, hey man, we're going to focus on drug crimes in my presidency because I ran on drug crimes. Versus, I don't like this person because they said mean things about me. I'm going to direct my DOJ to investigate them for anything I can find, and I'm going to throw the book at them and potentially kill them because he talked about hanging people and charging them with sedition. How is that not different? What the fuck, man?
Just let me, I'm sorry, hold on, let me just restate that. I'm not going to say it. If you want to make yourself sound that stupid, that's fine. You do not recognize a difference or a distinction between a president saying, I would like to focus more on this kind of crime, versus the president saying, these two opponents of mine, political opponents from 2 administrations ago, I want you to prosecute them. If you say there's no distinction.
Are there grounds for prosecution?
Well, you wouldn't know before until you do the investigation. Isn't that kind of part of what the DOJ does? Number one. Number two. Number two. No, why do you keep laughing? You're not making a point.
Investigative agency. The
What,
DOJ
really?
is
What does
not
the FBI do? How does the DOJ get evidence for an indictment to go to a
It's
grand
a different
jury?
agency.
It's
The
under
FBI
the
is a different
DOJ.
agency,
What are you? It's literally a subsidiary of the DOJ. What are you talking about? Okay, stop. Okay, the question was, if this is so ordinary, if this is so commonplace, then just show me
What's up, Nikki?
one other time it's happened. It should be really easy. If presidents do this all the
Nice.
time,
It happens-
what other president has
happens all
directed
the
his
ti-
attorney
it
general?
hap-
Give me one example. Don't just say it happens all the time. Give me an example.
Thank you, Destiny, for refocusing the question that he refused to answer when we went on a 10-minute fucking tirade. He won't answer this time.
Would you like
War
me
on
to answer?
drugs. War
War on drugs? That's not an answer. Are we just saying random words together?
Stop. Brinka, do you have an answer to his question?
It's irrelevant whether it's
Thank you.
ordinary, if it's within the president's authority, and it is. He's allowed.
They can't answer because the answer is no. And then they would have to concede the fact that Donald Trump is doing something uniquely terrible. And they don't want to do that because they voted for him.
To do
Cool.
an ordinary thing.
Why not just say
this
that?
goes
Just
back
say
to the
that.
whole
It's
thing where
extraordinary. It's
I
never
just
happened.
said it.
Yeah, that's great. Just open
I
with that
just
next time
said
instead
it.
of saying everybody does it. Not everybody does it. Trump is the most
Can't open
egregious
with anything
abuser of the DOJ.
because you won't stop talking.
You say wrong shit. I can't help it.
Describing this as vaguely as possible. It's, hey, this is the president's purview to do this thing and direct these departments. And we're saying, hey, when
I'll
has
be
the
as
president
specific
ever
as you want me to
called
be.
for the killing of people within his government in this certain way? Not, hey, he's going and saying maybe we could kill American citizens if it helps the war on drugs, or hey, we need to kill people
Obama
at the
killed
border.
American
Specifically,
citizens.
He went to his lawyers, fucking retard, to do that. He didn't go to his personal lawyers. He didn't call up Rudy Giuliani and said, I want to kill a motherfucker in another country who happens to be American. He didn't say that. That didn't happen. That didn't happen in this make-believe world, okay? Obama, who is the president, an elected official, went to the elected officials' lawyers of the White House, who have sworn an oath to the Constitution and not the president, went to them and said, I want to kill this guy. How can I do so? What are the ways that I can do this legally? They molded over. They came up with legal ideas built through the legal framework of our country. And then did the attack. That is different than Donald Trump calling up Rudy Giuliani saying, I want to steal an election. You're my personal lawyer on my personal payroll who has no role in the government. How do I do this? This is different. You fucking apes. How are you lawyers?
He didn't just.
Intent matters. Jesus Christ.
Call for it. He did it.
Obama went to Eric Holder and he asked his DOJ and his Office of Legal Counsel. He had the authority to do it. He didn't direct them. That's the difference between
It's
Obama
Why
and
does
Trump.
the DOJ give
Bar
authority?
literally,
How does the
bar
DOJ?
That doesn't give authority. They went through the legal framework of our country and determined, hey, know what? We are kind of within our rights here to do this. And they did it. And then it went to the UN and it was up to them on not whether or not we committed some kind of terrible atrocity.
Give him authority.
He went to them
That's
for the
like
legal
confining
memo.
the
What do you mean? The
secretary.
whole Eric Holder memo literally details this. He went to them to
That's
find
like
out if
you-
he felt he had the authority to
That's
even
like-
act this way. There's a difference between him and Trump
president
firing
is
every
not
attorney general that he
subordinate
doesn't
to the
agree
Department
with.
of Justice. The president is not subordinate to
Steve?
the Department of
The
Justice.
president
that's
is
like-
subordinate to the
Steve.
Constitution of the United States. And he's supposed to.
Yes! You answer to the Constitution. You are not king. We are ruled by a Constitution. It is your job to interpret the Constitution in a modern world. You were elected for this job. It doesn't give a fuck what your people voted for. Doesn't give a fuck what you ran on. You answer to the Constitution above all else. Dipshits. These are constitutional lawyers. This guy right here, Good Logic, or dipshit, or retard, he calls himself a constitutionalist.
To act in a way that comports with what the law is. So the president might consult his Department of Justice instead of like Donald Trump, who only confers with his personal attorneys. And instead of breaking every law and hoping to win in court, Obama tried to follow the law ahead of time, which is what you're supposed.
Yes, Obama followed the law and then made an elective decision based off of that law. Trump does what he wants, and then he tries to fight the law to form the law around him. These are two different individuals, and these people are too retarded to see that because they're Republican. They're bought in. I don't give a fuck about Democrats, okay? I don't give a fuck about the left. I fought with the left most of my life. The left still annoys me today. The left just happens to be on the right side more than the wrong side. So I tend to lean that way. But I'm not some guy who gives a fuck about parties. I'm not vote blue no matter who. That's fucking retarded. I like to just be on the side of who I think is correct and that falls in line with like reality. Like there are facts that can back up the claims. There are studies that are showing that these particular things are happening the way they are. Like I'm just not going to go off of vibes from people I don't know. I don't even go off of vibes on people I love and trust. Anyway.
Supposed to do. The law is there to check your behavior before you do. It's not there as a consequence for you to intentionally break it over and over again.
Okay, we gotta let the other side respond without interruption, just for a little bit. Okay, just go ahead, Bronca, please. You can respond.
If it's okay for Obama, if it's okay for Obama to actually kill American citizens, why would it be inappropriate for Trump to advocate killing American citizens without actually doing it?
Because Obama was exercising his powers as the head of the military, as the commander-in-chief. No, as the commander-in-chief, number one, and number two, it was in a theater of war where we already had a pre-existing authorization for the use of military force. In order for it, we already have a broad AUMF that has been not challenged by any prior president to operate in the Middle East. Now, unless I'm not aware of this, were any of the people that Donald Trump said should be tried for seditious conspiracy or whatever, were any of these people part of Al-Qaeda or some terrorist outfit that I'm just not aware of that Trump didn't publicize information about?
Sedition doesn't require that.
Oh, do we have any evidence of them committing sedition?
Yes, we have a video of them committing sedition.
On video.
Oh, okay, wait. So just to be clear, okay, so Donald Trump retweeting things saying that these people should be tried and executed, that in and of itself is totally fine, but a bunch of people going on video saying you shouldn't follow unlawful orders, which is literally part of the military code, that's seditious behavior?
Yes, it's sedition in the broader political context.
It's literally not. It's absolutely not. So you're completely destroyed on that. You've been mogged completely out of existence. What a stupid... How could you possibly think that these people committed seditious conspiracy? But Donald Trump, who's literally retweeting people saying they should be... So now in the future, just to be clear, anytime I say somebody should be killed, I should just say first, oh, he should be tried for a crime and killed first. And then we're safe. It's a genius idea. Oh my God.
Destiny.
Stop, please. I want to hear the argument. So the argument about the sedition. Why is it sedition? Why is them going on to and making an ad saying you should disobey unlawful orders? How is that sedition? Can you make the argument?
That would not be seditious. It's seditious.
It's not just that. It's the context. It's the context in which they're saying that, and it's simultaneously they're saying, by the way, everything Trump's doing is unlawful.
He's got... Oh my fucking God. You know what, dude? I'm sorry, Wick. I'm sorry. Just let them talk. These people are so retarded, they sink themselves. Destiny, you can chill. This guy... What the fuck did this man just say, dude? So, all of the crazy shit Donald Trump says and does that has increased and ratcheted up political tensions since 2014... calling rapists and monsters and drug dealers that cross our borders. That's what all of them are. Some of them are good people, he says, but not a lot. He says all this shit. Talks about, fucking raping women. Gets charged with sexual assault. gets 32 felony counts, literally robs people of their money, the Trump coin, all of this shit. People start dying. And like, nope, Trump has zero responsibility whatsoever. But the political environment of Democrats that say that he's not a king and that he's being unlawful and then saying that we shouldn't listen to his unlawful things, that's sedition and worthy of death. Do you understand how fucked up this is? Like, why do these lawyers exist only in like this weird peripheral fucking view of what Donald Trump is when he operates outside of precedent in law? But then like everyone else, it's all matter of fact. Like, I cannot believe that Destiny called this before all this started and we're watching it. Like, these guys should be cognitive that Destiny said that and like be smart. They're lawyers, man. These people have written books and they're just walking into everything. Holy fuck, dude. Our legal system is fucked if these people can pass the bar.
They're saying
Did they say that in that video?
They said that in that video?
Kind of implying that.
It doesn't have to
They
be.
said we understand you're under intense pressure.
Okay, so,
yeah, they're under intense
when these
pressure.
people
Yeah.
put out a thing, you have to read between the lines and imply what they're saying.
Yep.
But when
No,
Trump
you
comes
don't
out
have to
saying,
imply what you're
"Killing
saying."
Remember what
these
I
members
said?
of my
Liberals
government,"
need to
that's
act
totally
moral
fine.
and above board
Yeah.
on everything, but Donald Trump is only constrained by the
If
outer
they
perimeter
weren't
of our
saying it-
delusional interpretation of law. Amazing.
No. When they go out there, and weeks earlier, Slotkin is going out there saying he's issuing illegal orders, and then she comes out here. Okay, okay. So you're only making.
Did she
you're
say
only
every single thing he does is legal?
soy pill? What you're
not
doing
required.
is you're arguing against yourself. You
No.
don't even realize. You don't even realize when you make a
mic
point
keeps
against
getting
yourself.
lower as you go. I don't know if you're turning it down, but it was good for a minute, and then
Yeah.
it's gone lower.
Soy pill, you're actually arguing against yourself because when you have these senators and these congressmen and women who go out there and say he's issuing illegal orders, and then they say if there is
When the court is saying that his orders are illegal and he's doing things against the Constitution, I demand my senators to speak about it. In fact, every Democrat that doesn't needs to be primaried in the next election. Full send.
if an illegal order is issued, you're honor bound on the Constitution to
You
disobey
are!
it. The only
You take an oath to the Constitution. You do not take an oath to the president. You do not take an oath to your governor. You do not take an oath to your boss. You take an oath to the Constitution. You take an oath to the flag. These are what you promised to defend. Your American president should be ready to lay his life down for the Constitution. It is the document that has created one of the strongest nations in the world, that has granted freedom to so many people and lifted so many people from poverty. Donald Trump didn't do that. Biden didn't do that. Obama didn't do that. Clinton didn't do that. Abraham Lincoln didn't do that. The Constitution did. And the people that upheld it every fucking day. We writ a document. We wrote it and explained how our system is supposed to work. We told people, hey, you can run our country, but listen to this document. They said they would. Now they're not. And the people that voted for him are the constitutionalists who are supposed to be the most mad about this shit. You know how many debates I've had about gun control and gun rights and other bullshit? These people swore that the Constitution was the most holy document on earth. And now they shit all over it because it's all gravy for him now. Oh my fucking God, dude. I can't. These people are so... They're so goddamn, they're so
possible purpose for making that is to basically
I'm getting all my anger out today. Let's go, baby.
Every time they have an order, they should sit there and try and
gotta take this
try
off. Maybe the
calculate,
cops
is
might
this
pound on the
constitutional?
door.
Do I think it's constitutional when you try to actually put this into a practical sense rather than applying it to an individual
Were
scenario?
both those statements true? Were both the statements true? Wasn't Trump issuing illegal orders?
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
no, he wasn't.
So when it was reported to murder the people in the Venezuelan boats, even when they blew the boats up, that's not an illegal
It's
order.
not murder. Not murder.
It's a war crime, you fucking retard. it kind of requires some form of murderous intent. Yeah, no, yeah, that's murder. We are not at war. What the fuck, dude? This guy, the leading example on self-defense law, everyone.
What is it then? For a country that we're not at war with, what would you consider that?
Wait.
It's a lawful killing.
How is it a lawful killing? What is the law? Self-defense lawyer, you said? What is the... Sorry, my God, go.
We can't let them move on from this because flawed logic.
Jesus Christ, dude. How is it lawful killing? And what... This is a self-defense lawyer. What law allows us to kill people without evidence? In America, you were innocent until found guilty. Okay, so this happened not in America, but so what laws do we have that allow us to kill nationals from another country that we're not at war with and who are not opposing any kind of military action against our country? What law allows that kind of killing? And then we also went back and did a double take and then shot them when they were already down. Like Pete Hegseth is on like a video call or whatever saying kill them all. What law allows United States military men to do this to another country? Please, I would love to hear this, as self-defense doesn't really play a role in international conflicts like this. We are not at war. They're not invading our country. What law, dare I say, states that we're allowed to kill these people? I really would love to. Is he going to, like, at all expand on this? I'm so eager. Mr. Best Self-Defense Lawyer Expert in America, or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. Please, tell me, with your glorious lawyer degree, your law degree, you know what I mean? Tell me what you got. I'm so eager.
Just said there is no other possible explanation.
Wait, which name did I get now?
Flawed logic? What was it?
You called him Chud logic. He's good logic. I promise you. It's not God logic, not Chud logic.
The only explanation.
He's not good logic either. He is lack of logic. Being told to go back and kill anyone who survived the first attack is evil. Exactly.
For Slotkin saying this is to plant the seed of doubt and make them question every order. Why is it in the military training to say you shouldn't obey illegal orders? Is it to make every single military person like question every single order and like, oh, we want to have a military that's insubordinate? Or is it because you aren't allowed to follow illegal orders and you
it's the very same people. That's a good question. It's a fair question, Soy Pill. And I'll tell you, it's the very same people and those in their camp who are continually saying there's one illegal order after another where they've continually been proven wrong. They've basically been claiming this is illegal, that's illegal. I will answer your question.
No,
so when she's going out there and saying, no, because in the military.
Soy Pill, you're a fucking retard if you honestly thought he was going to answer a question. This guy will never answer a question. He's going to fumble his way through everything. He's going to say a bunch of bullshit, and then he's just going to deflect. So, I mean, Soy Pill, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, homie. You must be retarded if you thought he was going to answer that question.
When they're being trained, they're not being trained. Hey, you're going to be getting a whole bunch of illegal orders. So make sure that you've only followed constitutional orders. They don't get that in their training. They don't get that warm up. When you're getting as a follow up, as a follow through to, there's all sorts of unconstitutional orders. And hey, by the way, military, when you get a constitutional order, you better make sure you don't follow it. And there's also even a veiled.
So this is sedition, right? Remember, this is the point of what they're saying, because we're bringing up the fact that Donald Trump is continually breaking the law, breaking the Constitution, continually doing these things. Courts have continually pointed out that he's doing these things. Judges have thrown injunction after injunction after him. You know, whatever. It's been proven that he's breaking the law a lot of the time. So when a senator or a congressperson says, hey, man, don't forget, you have an obligation not to act against, essentially, the country. That's not sedition. You aren't leading a case to how that's sedition. You haven't even built up an effective argument to prove your point. If I am a jury, I'm fully unconvinced, and you sound like a retard.
Threatened there. The veiled threat is that when we come back into power, if we decide to determine those are unconstitutional, we're going to prosecute you military members for following these orders.
Yes. if you do something unconstitutional, you should be held criminally liable. Yeah. No, yeah. If that's what's going through, if that's the motivator that's going through like a soldier's head, I'm okay with that. If they feel threatened to do their job correctly, I'm okay with that. Because, again, we have soldiers showing up to American towns, breaking the law. They shouldn't feel comfortable with that. If you do that, and we do come in power, you should be held in full. You should be held for sedition, because you broke your pact with the Constitution and what it means to be American. I feel like at some point, every person that has continued to do Donald Trump's bidding, all of them, every single one of them, hit him with insurrection. He'll pardon all of them. It's cool. But they can't hold any office ever again.
And you're not going to be able to say, and we've even heard Schumer go out there, and we've heard others say that, hey, you're not going to be able to say we were following orders. Remember the Nuremberg trials. That's what the left has been saying right now.
True. You do not get a free pass for doing heinous shit because your boss told you to. This is just basic logic. If we have to remind people of that, you know what I mean?
Now, so in this entire context, the only reason to do it is to weaken the military and have our military members basically question every single order rather than relying on the default that our military has had for the last 250 years that, hey, when I get an order, it's constitutional.
Well, I'm sorry. Apparently our military people can't fucking think, and they universally voted to put Trump in power. So I'm okay with making the military feel a little duncy sometimes. I'm cool with that. Fuck you.
Okay, so you keep saying only reason. Could it be possible? Is there not a world that exists in which Donald Trump has done something illegal and people want the people not to follow that order? Is that possible?
They can't name one.
Okay.
The murder of the Venezuelan people after the boats, killing people after the boats already been destroyed. That's a war crime and it's illegal in the United States. You can't do that.
Joe!
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
No. Great arguments. Yes, you can.
So wait,
no, you
no,
can't.
wait. So you
okay,
think?
well, what do we want? I
can
can appeal to the Rome Statute. I know we're not party to the ICC. I can appeal to international customary humanitarian law. You're not allowed to kill people that are no longer enemy combatants. Like what for military law, you're not allowed to kill people that have already surrendered. White flag laws and all of these things are part of our military code of conduct. So what are you citing? What do you think that you're allowed to kill people who aren't able to participate in combat?
Hold his dick to the fire, dude. I swear to God, I want to hear this retard answer this question. I need to hear how we can just go around and kill people, because if that's the case, bro, some people are getting taken out. Oh, dude, I love the R word, dude. I'm sorry. I ain't dropping it.
Not anymore. What are you citing to? What do you think?
Surrendered.
What?
They weren't surrendered.
How do you even know they were shooting at them from drones?
Okay, just real
They
quick.
weren't surrendered. They weren't taken into custody.
Before we go on,
That taken into custody is not the same as surrendered.
Hold on, stop, please. In the DoD's Law of War Manual,
Peace.
and this was updated in July 2023, and I'm going to just read from this directly. This can give some context to the audience. Under Section 5.9, persons placed hors de combat. Persons, including combatants, placed hors de combat may not be made the object of attack. Persons placed hors de combat include the following categories of persons, provided they abstain from any
Oh my
hostile
God,
act.
dude. He's actually doing some moderation. Wick, my dude. Thank you, dude.
And do not attempt to escape. 1. Persons in the power of an adverse party. 2. Persons not yet in custody who have surrendered. 3. Persons who have been rendered unconscious or otherwise incapacitated by wounds, sickness, or shipwreck. And 4. Persons parachuting from aircraft in distress. So, if the Washington Post report is correct, Andrew, could you give us the legal reasoning that, in your opinion, in your argument, why those shipwrecked narco guys were a legal target?
Well, they weren't shipwrecked. They were blown up.
What do you think shipwrecked
God
means?
damn it, dude. What a fucking retard. This is the best defense lawyer, by the way, guys, in the entire country.
Shipwreck means a ship wrecks on a reef.
No, that's not what it means. It means your ship has been rendered incapacitated. It could have been because it got wrecked, or it could have been it got blown up. The reality is that the people on the ship, even if they were enemy combatants, of which we have no proof of, by the way, even if they were, as soon as their ship has been rendered unable to perform any combat functions, and the people in the water, They have obtained.
Where does it say that?
Say what?
No.
You're a lawyer.
So,
What? Hey, I'm curious. I'm curious. Wait. No. Inform us. You're a lawyer. When there are words that appear legally and there are statutes, how would you figure out? How would you figure out what it actually means? What would you do? What would you look up?
Are you allowed to shoot enemy soldiers who are running away?
Yes.
Okay. So why is this any different?
Because
they're not running away. These guys, they don't know what they're getting into. Destiny has read all of this. And he's not a pussy. Okay? He's not going to back away from an argument that he knows, like he's willing to take the dark sides of his argument every time. Every time. He's willing to own the shady stuff of his argument. He doesn't care. He's not here to win favor, to look good on camera. He's going to own the argument. So he's not going to sit here and make the typical liberal bullshit argument that all these pussies are going to make. They're like, oh, you can't shoot people running away. What are you talking? Then everyone would drop their guns at the end of war. No, you are allowed to shoot soldiers that are retreating. What? Yes.
Shipwrecked.
Now, we don't like it because it showcases some form of like evil, and a lot of people choose not to, but bro.
Okay. So why is this any different?
Because they're shipwrecked. They don't have the opportunity. They're not running away. They're in water. They're shipwrecked.
What about soldiers who are running away? They're not attacking you at the moment.
Because soldiers that are running away are still considered part of combat. Fleeing is a military operation.
True.
Right. Why would these people in the boats get the benefit of the law of warfare where they're not engaged in any recognized military force or warfare?
Because when you're not a savage, that's how you conduct yourself as a first world country, especially as a country that says that we don't exist under the Rome Statute because we're not signatories to the ICC. We have our own military courts that are supposed to hold our own behavior accountable. That's why stuff like Abu Ghraib and that's why stuff like Gitmo is not always on the up and up. And some of it we went after. So the answer is there is international customary humanitarian law where all of us agree that there are certain rules. You can't torture people. You can't rape people.
Let me know when
you
you're
can't
done.
capture people. Well, I'm informing you since you apparently don't know anything about international.
Why did he agree to do this debate? Why did he agree to do this? This is crazy.
Law.
You're not
Murdering
answering the
people,
question. Just let me know when you're done.
The question specifically is you can't murder people that are just swing.
For people to have the protection of the law of war, they have to qualify for the protection of the law of war. These are regular combatants engaged in chemical warfare against the United States. Don't qualify for the law.
Number one, even if what you just said was true, they do qualify. Number two, you have no evidence of any of those claims. An enemy combatant that is shipwrecked qualifies for prisoner of war status. Where what?
They're not in uniform. They're not.
They don't have to be in uniform.
Military force. Okay.
Doesn't matter. I know it hurts. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Your daddy Trump just commits war crimes or Hexeth, whatever you want to say. I know it hurts, but
you guys.
This is fucking glorious, dude. I'm fucking full. I'm fully erect right now, guys. Oh my God, we're only 32 minutes in.
Gang, I love the energy. I love the passion. It's really great content. But we got to let Andrew finish his point. Please, Andrew, go ahead.
No, I'll let Destiny go. I just do want to say, however, that I guess I misunderstood what the nature of the format would be here. I'm unlikely to stay for 2 hours to get yelled at by Destiny. That's not a good use of my time. So.
What? Oh my God.
If we could maybe have questions and answers and people have an opportunity to exchange views and positions.
No. You need to defend your position. People should not placate kindness to you. You are on here to make a claim. So make it. People don't need to be nice to you while you make a claim. People are dying. Again, the Republicans were supposed to be the ones that weren't about all this gay fucking feely shit, bro. They weren't about that shit, right? They're the ones that make all the jokes about everyone around them, every ethnicity, every fucking sexuality, every opportunity, fuck trans people. Like, that's their whole thing. So why are we now just discussing civility? Why? What? You get in power and all of a sudden you need to be talked kind to after your entire party for the last 6 years has gone absolutely apeshit attacking everybody? Fuck you.
We don't have to agree, but we can inform the audience that way.
No! Hold your position, bitch!
Getting yelled at by Destiny for 2 hours isn't informing anybody.
I'm learning a lot. I know that you're a bitch.
I'll be nicer.
We probably get more. We'll probably get further if you actually let people like respond and.
You don't say anything. If we let you talk for 40 minutes, take up all the time. Nothing is said, nothing is done, and we have a dead weight fucking debate. No.
Rather than just trying to cut them down before they finish, you actually just let them respond.
It would be nice if they were responsive to my questions. That'd be nice. We probably
yes, please. Fuck, man. I'm gonna come. Dude, this is crazy.
We got it. Okay.
And instead of mischaracterizing, is not.
No. Respond to the question. Stop deflecting. Stop running. Stop hiding. Respond. Be a fucking man. This is what you voted for. Now defend it.
Not being responsive. I'll tell you. You tell me how it fails to respond, and I'll tell you how it is. Or
God, stop being such a pussy.
And Andrew could do
Quit fucking crying, man.
The same.
Also,
but I do agree.
What was the question for the debate? Because we seem to have wandered
that's
somewhat
what I'm
far
trying to do.
afield.
Please. I'm trying to rein it back in, right? We're going to be talking about the shooting of the National Guard members, right? And who bears responsibility and to what extent they bear responsibility, and if Trump does so. So let's kind of reset, get it back on track. Okay. So
I have a question because they really want to answer questions.
Go ahead. Ask your question. I better be on track or else I'm...
Do you think Donald Trump has ever toned down rhetoric, or has he only ever made it worse in the last year?
He's allowed to engage in rhetoric. He's a politician. He has no
That's not what I
obligation
asked.
to.
I didn't. He's
Sorry.
allowed.
He's asking.
They cannot answer a fucking question. Your response should just be no. And then you can explain that it's not his responsibility to. I don't know why you're so, like, Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Wait, I asked if
sorry.
he had.
I
thought you were here to answer my questions, not say whether or not it was okay what Trump did.
All right, I get to speak what I'd like to say. Is that okay? You can
No,
tell
answer
the
my question.
audience
It's
that
not
I failed.
okay.
let him give his answer, and if it's not responsive to your question, you can...
Wick, they're never responsive. Why are you such a fucking spineless pussy? I'm so glad I never made it on your show. I would lose it. I would lose it. You would be incapable. None of these people, I mean, the only person who I can have a conversation with probably is Destiny and Soy Pill, dude. But it would just be me agreeing with them, bro. Like, what the fuck, dude? What is this? Civility bullshit.
Remind him of that after he's given his answer.
I don't work for you, Soy Pill. I don't have to answer questions.
No, but you're at a fucking debate making a point. So answer the question, retard.
To your satisfaction.
Yeah, well, you also
I will
have a
answer
goldfish
the, I'm
memory,
sorry.
So 3
Well,
seconds
hold
after I ask
on.
my question,
All
please
right,
answer
I'm
it.
going to have to start meeting people.
No, he was being vile and being a bitch and dodging a question. Be a moderator, Wick. God, why are you the spineless fucking pussy in every one of these? Every time you bring on Destiny, you cry like a bitch. Oh, Destiny's too mean. We're going too far. Every time. And then you run defense for Republicans every time. What? Are you becoming Pierce Morgan, bro? What the fuck is this?
I'm gonna back.
Make him answer the question. If you don't, I'm never watching another one. I'm done with you. I'm done with your pussy shit. I'm done being your simp. Make him answer a fucking question. Quit being a spineless pussy. Holy fuck.
Out if this is. I'm not spending 2 hours of my night like this. This is pointless.
You just answer my question.
Finish your statement, Andrew. Go ahead, please.
State your question, Soy Pill, and I will provide the answer I believe is appropriate
So you're not going to answer the question. Got it.
for me. Go ahead.
Okay, has Donald Trump ever turned down the rhetoric, or has he only ever inflated it and made it worse?
I think the
Especially in the
question's
last year.
irrelevant. Okay, the question's irrelevant because Donald Trump has no obligation to turn down the rhetoric.
Cool.
He's the president of the United States, you fucking retard. He has no obligation. And I'm out. Later, Kia.
He's
So you're
a
not going to answer my question. So you
politician.
can stop talking now. You can bow out now if you're not
Okay,
going to
no, we
respond to
can-
anything
no,
I say.
no,
I'm
we can't.
out. I'm
I've
out.
muted him.
All right, bye. See ya, dude. You're useless,
I
dude.
muted. I guess.
Remember at the start I said this is what all Republicans do is Trump is just given the outer perimeter of what he's legally allowed to do, but then on the other end, by the way, those politicians were allowed to make that video, right?
True.
Well, hold on.
I think they
Allowed
actually.
to.
I think they probably broke the law. Actually.
You're unfucking believable. You're a disgusting, like a subhuman. I can't believe that you guys, the free speech
That's the
guys,
debate.
would say
This is-
stuff
this
like
is
this.
your
It's
debate.
unbelievable to
This
me.
is-
Why?
this
How?
is your
Hold on, just
debate.
real quick, Destiny, please. Why did they break the law? Give us that argument, please.
When they're under 18 U.S.C. 2387, that they're trying to demoralize and discourage the military from actually following the commanding officers. That's what they're trying to do. That's what their objective is. You know it also. You can pretend that you don't know that that's what their objective is. Their objective is that every time an order comes down, which the left may question, that they have to sit there and think to themselves, is this something that I can get in trouble for down the road? That's what their objective is. Why else are they making the video?
That fear should be in all of their heads at all times. Everyone should have that fear. You should have that fear with every decision you make. That should be a human fear. The first thing that should pop into your head is, why am I doing this? What's informing me inside myself to make this decision? That's crazy.
You have no answer to that because that's the only possible motivation.
The possibility is they don't want. Could it be? This might be a stretch. Okay, maybe they just don't want them to follow unlawful orders.
True.
Right. Okay, but then you wouldn't put it under the context of literally days after Alyssa Slotkin goes out there says that Trump is issuing illegal orders.
Well, wait. Wasn't Trump issuing illegal orders? Didn't that happen?
No, he wasn't.
So the murdering of the people
believes he did something illegal.
So now you want to go into the whole murdering that happened after the video was made, right?
Oh, how about we can talk about stealing the National Guard from the governors when Trump is using the National Guard and redeploying them to states without the governor's consent?
That actually so far when it was bouncing around the Ninth Circuit, it actually held up pretty well. See what ends up happening when these things go through the court. This is another problem with just telling a military member you decide what's unconstitutional. Let me just finish my point.
You made a claim. You made a claim. Just real quick. You made a claim. My understanding is the last thing that went through the DC thing, they said no, he wasn't allowed to do that. That deployment was illegal. Is that true or not true?
It depends on when there's so many cases going on. I'm not going to tell you that I can tell you in this court versus in that court that this is the status as of right now here versus that one over there. Now, maybe somehow you got your hands on some sort of AI there, which is able to flesh out for you in the Ninth Circuit versus DC Circuit versus what's happening in Washington versus what's happening in Illinois and California. Maybe you have something that can do that. I don't profess to have encyclopedic knowledge of the thousands of cases that the left has ended up causing because Trump became president. They just not happy with any order he issues, that they're going to try and fight it in one jurisdiction after another. So I can't tell you.
Wait, hello?
In jurisdiction Y. What's your issue? You okay?
You cut out.
You cut out for a minute.
Okay.
I don't know.
So then isn't it possible then? But for what? Sorry, isn't it possible then that Slotkin really did believe then, if this is really complicated and some courts are ruling some ways and some courts are ruling, that maybe these people did believe that Trump is issuing illegal orders?
Oh no, it's very possible. It's very possible they thought.
When you said
so, don't they have the freedom? Don't they have the freedom to say? Don't they have the freedom then to say?
No, because here's the question: they have to be acting under the default that it is constitutional, especially because so many of these orders that at the lower level are declared unconstitutional, and then as soon as you get to the circuit court, they say no, that's totally fine. So now how is it that if judges who are proficient in the law and understand the law are sitting here arguing about what's constitutional and what's not, how can it possibly be healthy or natural or normal for any typical military member sit there trying to figure out what the ultimate determination of law will be on this particular action that he has yet to take?
Well, they already have that. They already have that burden. Wait, you asked the question. Do you understand they already have that burden, right? They're already supposed to do that.
That burden is so obviously egregiously beyond what the Constitution allows.
Yeah, like killing people in the middle of the ocean outside a country that we're not even declared war against.
You're coming to this case, which came up after they made the video, and I'll tell you right now, I haven't researched the law because I didn't think that when we're talking about
God. Oh, I can't do it. Can't do it, guys. I'm dying.
Whether or not shooting the National Guard is Trump's fault is going to somehow lead itself to a conversation about shooting down a boat in the Pacific. So I didn't look that up. And I'm not going to speak without knowing what the law is in that particular circumstance.
Okay, because we can talk about something that Trump did that's relevant, like how the most recent case from Cobb says that what he did in deploying the National Guard was illegal. Do you think that they should ignore those orders because the person ruled
at which level? At which level of court is that?
I don't remember what
exactly. It wasn't the Supreme Court. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yes, local authorities do have. So there's like National Guards for each, there's like deployments in each state. The National Guard is actually supposed to answer to like the state governor. Like it's part of the state's rights. It's actually something that's like Republicans used to really love. And when like Texas was doing it on when Biden was in office, Biden had to eventually cave and agree to like let them do their thing. But the one thing that Biden had was that, yes, states have the right to do their own thing, but immigration is a federal issue. And Biden still ultimately caved and let, Texas be unhinged. Eventually.
Not part of the Supreme Court.
And that's my point, is that these cases go back and forth. Now, you have to put this in a practical sense, because...
Wait, hold on. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait, real quick. Hold on. Just real quick. Well, because he just misquoted something, because maybe he doesn't know the difference. I don't know if he knows what a preliminary injunction is or a TRO is, but you don't need the Supreme Court to rule on something to stay or to order a preliminary injunction or a TRO. So I don't know why you just said, why you're pretending that something needs to go all the way up to the Supreme Court before a lawful order is issued. Okay, just to be clear. Go ahead. The next thing you said, go ahead.
I'll answer that question, which is a pretty simple question. Every time there's been a TRO that's been issued against him, Trump has fought against it all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Every time. It doesn't. Hold on. Excuse me. Are you implying? Let me just be clear. Are you implying that if a TRO is issued, is approved against you at a district or a circuit court, that if you violate the lawful command of that TRO, of that preliminary injunction, that if it eventually gets overturned to the Supreme Court, you won't face some kind of contempt or criminal consequences?
Trump hasn't done that. He's actually bent over backwards. You want to know what Trump's biggest problem is? Wait, can you answer
that question real quick? Why can't you answer any question?
Let him respond if he doesn't.
He didn't answer the question. He just lied and said that Trump hasn't done it. Trump did do it, by the way. It was a huge issue with the immigration case where they ignored the
True! You can't let my boy go.
Order that was issued. You're lying, because I have to correct the record.
I'm not lying.
They told the planes to turn around, and they didn't do it, and they're getting in trouble for the fact that they violated that TRO, even if it was eventually overturned at a higher court. You still have to listen to the orders of the court. You got to assume you'll win later on.
This is exactly the point. Judge Boasberg, when he's sitting there trying to say, I'm in D.C., and I'm going to start directing the President of the United States as to what he can do with his military planes that are flying out of Texas and going south of the border, and I'm going to start telling him what he can do with these military planes. The audacity of Judge Boasberg in that moment was unconscionable.
The audacity of a federal judge in the federal 100%. Jurisdiction to make orders related 100%. To the rights of American citizens? What the f*** are you talking about? I'm sorry, hold on. Do we need the Gulf of America judges to make the rulings on this? Who would be the one to make the ruling?
I understand you haven't spent 10 seconds in law school, so you don't understand what jurisdiction means.
He's already made one lawyer bow out. Do you want to make that claim, pussy? He's already walking circles around you in this debate, and he hasn't even gone to law school, bro. Every time you guys talk, he makes you look like a retard. What?
Oh, but yeah, explain to me jurisdiction. Wait. Oh,
jurisdiction.
You're right. Hold on. Wait. He has no jurisdiction. Well, first of all, he's jurisdiction in venue right now. No. Yeah, explain jurisdiction. Who would have jurisdiction over that?
Because of lack of venue, he doesn't have jurisdiction.
So then I was right. You need a courthouse that's floating in the Gulf of America that has proper venue and jurisdiction to hear the case? Is that what you need? No. Who has jurisdiction to hear that case? Tell me.
Because you're ignorant about the law.
See how he's doing the insults now? He has no argument. Who has the jurisdiction then? Which court hears that case? Which court hears that case?
One name after another.
Which court hears the case? Which court hears the case?
Destiny, please.
That would be. It would probably be a district court in Texas where it flies out of.
No, it doesn't have to be a district court in Texas. You don't know where they fly out of. You don't.
Counselor Destiny's coming here telling me it doesn't have to be there.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
Apparently, the Supreme Court thought you're wrong. Maybe they should consult with you. You know the law far better than everyone else. You're sitting here mocking, saying everyone else is stupid or lying.
You're the fucking retard making an appeal to authority. And a guy who plays video games is making you look ridiculous. I would stop making that appeal right about now, or probably about 20 minutes ago. I would probably hide the fact that I'm a lawyer, and I would just tell people I'm a dipshit fucking podcaster.
Blah, 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 and over-talking them when you have no idea how the law...
Dude, if you cannot handle someone talking to you slightly fast, how the fuck did you handle that in court? What the fuck, man?
Okay, why did the court say that Texas? Why did the court say that they had to issue it out of Texas? A Texas court had to hear it instead of the DC one.
I'm sorry.
Why does the Texas court? Why is that the proper venue versus the DC one?
Because it's flying out of Texas.
Okay, what was the issue that the plaintiffs brought up in the DC case?
Which issue? Which DC case?
The one that you're talking about, where they said that. The Venezuelans that brought up the case eventually it was in front of Boasberg in the D.C. Circuit, and eventually it was ruled against them. They had to bring it up in Texas instead, right? What was the issue?
And Boasberg got overruled.
Yeah, what were the plaintiffs' issues with that?
Because he didn't have jurisdiction.
What were the plaintiffs?
You're missing the entire point.
It's venue.
Okay,
no, I'm not missing the entire point. You're misleading. You're misleading. You're misleading. Yes, but the issue was they couldn't choose a proper venue because the people had no notice about where they were being flown out to. That was the whole issue, is that Trump issued this order on a Friday night. The plaintiffs brought it to a court with proper, they could hear it federally. It was a jurisdictionally a federal case, but they had to do it properly in a different venue because the government successfully argued in front of this joke Supreme Court that this was a habeas corpus claim and not an administrative procedures claim, okay? But the issue is that, but the issue the plaintiffs had was that they didn't even know. Well, hold on, I'm not even.
You gotta let him respond, please. He lost his teammate. His teammate decided that,
Why? Let Destiny prove the point and then ask him to defend it or explain it. Whick, why are you such a bitch? I'm so done with you. Holy fuck.
Whatever, I don't know.
Okay, so then the question, if it would have been a Texas court, then would he have said a Texas court could have turned the planes around?
Good logic, please, go ahead.
It's an interesting legal question as to whether or not they would.
Oh my God. All right, sorry.
You asked me a question, I'm giving you a fair answer.
No, you're not.
You asked me a question, I'm giving you an answer. What I'm saying is you assume that courts are God. And
I assume that courts can tell you what the law is. I'm sorry. Trump is God to you.
The Constitution, no, I don't think Trump is God. I think Trump is very fallible. I think he made a lot of mistakes. Perhaps, arguably, that he's not fascistic enough. Because if he was more of a fascist.
Oh my God, dude.
If he was the fascist that the left claims that he is, if in fact he was, in that case, you wouldn't have Sarah Beckstrom dead right now, right? The reason this guy's here, I'm going to try to bring this back to the actual conversation, to the premise that we have here. Why is this guy here in this country? Everyone loves to say that Trump's court in April actually approved and gave him asylum. But the reason they ended up giving him asylum is because the way the law was built and baked specifically by the Biden administration was that unless this guy had committed fraud or some crime after he got here that he was convicted in a court of law for, they had to grant him the asylum. So they basically made it. They brought in all these millions of people, and in Operation Al and the OAW of where they basically say, "Hey, we're going to bring in all of these Afghanis." They basically and then they assign them temporary protected status. What they basically said is, "We're going to fast track you to getting you legalized here without any vetting, and then we're just going to basically say, oh, okay, you now can apply, and it's going to be impossible for a court to remove you because based on the way the law is written, and you have to follow what the law says, based on the law is written." Yeah, he does.
So Trump had no issue. So Trump had no issue flying these people to Venezuela, some of which have been brought back now. He had no issue doing any of that, but he was forced to grant asylum to this guy.
Well, first and foremost, like I said, Boasberg did not have jurisdiction. You see, you're trying to deflect over to that whole Boasberg situation.
No, you literally said Trump has to follow the law. When you were just talking about how Trump doesn't have to follow the law like 10 minutes ago.
No.
A direct example of how that's not true.
The only reason that Sarah Beckstrom is dead is because he's not a fascist. Because if he was a fascist,
why was that guy even there?
Because Biden set up that it was impossible to legally remove him.
Trump is the one, his team signed the paperwork to bring that immigrant in. Trump brought him here. Trump.
He set up that it was impossible to legally remove him. That's my point. Let me just finish this point. That if Trump was the fascist he was and he wants all these people gone, he would have ignored the law and say, I don't care what the law says, I'm deporting them. But he hasn't been doing that.
He literally did that when he invoked the Alien Enemies Act.
He did, but my point is, every single time, instead, what would a fascist do? A fascist would basically take his military and have them do what he wants. Instead, he tries to work within the confines of the law.
He does not, and his military is doing what he wants. And you literally said that if we tell the soldiers that operate under him, if they follow an unlawful order, that's sedition and they should be killed. How are you so fucking dumb? What the fuck?
Now, you don't like the way he tries to work within the confines of the law.
Trump using the military.
You gotta let him finish.
Well, he
please.
keeps
Oh my
spouting
God.
off like 6
I
different points.
understand.
They're all
I will
contradictory.
give
Like,
you
can we not jump
uninterrupted
in and
time.
tell him when he's
Hold
being
on.
stupid?
You're-
Stop.
But you're
I'll give you uninterrupted time as soon as he's done. My God, you guys are making me. Okay, sorry.
You know, have like a
but-
little
but
notepad
everything-
inside your camera
everything-
so I can see all his different points and remember which ones are the dumb ones I have to respond to.
all right.
Go
You
ahead,
see,
go ahead.
all you have is trying to disparage me without actually refuting a single thing I say, which I take that as a compliment.
You don't say anything.
Now,
To be clear, we've refuted tons of things, right? You haven't given a single example of anybody conducting himself the way that Trump has, correct? You conceded that point entirely.
That what?
That
Which
nobody has
portion?
ordered their DOJ around like Donald Trump has. Nobody's done that. You can't give a single example of that.
True.
Unprecedented.
No, what Trump does is what he does is with transparency. He does it publicly. No,
Shit,
it's a conversation.
wait, is my thing lagging? Did somebody just ask if Trump was transparent or public? I didn't hear that. So I don't know who you're talking to right now. I said, is there any example of anybody ordering their DOJ around like Trump does? And you just said, you mumbled something about transparent. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have any examples of that?
Because I don't know what conversations are happening.
Why can't you just say no? Why can't you say no? There are no examples. Trump is acting in an unprecedented manner.
I don't know that it is.
He's assuming
Then,
that every other
then why
president
haven't
has
you?
been
Then why
just
can't
as
you
bad,
provide
we
a
just never
single
figured it
example?
out.
If this is so common, give me a single example of another president ordering their DOJ like this to arrest particular political opponents.
Soypol just gave you the answer. He just told you what I said. That you pretended I didn't answer, but he understood what I was saying.
Okay,
No, yeah, but that's a stupid point. I was summarizing your stupid point. It's still
Okay,
fun.
well, you can disagree with me, but
Okay,
like,
so
you're
can you say-
pretending that-
so you
you're
can say
pretending
there are
that
no
I'm not-
examples?
I can't look into every single government document. Therefore, I can't say for certain that no one has done what Trump has done, even though Trump is the only one we know who has actually done it. That's what you're saying.
He's the only one who tells you what he's going to do before he does it. He tells you
Okay,
by True
that's not an
Social,
argument.
which
Hey,
you can.
you know-
That's not the
It's-
question
does
they're
Trump know about-
asking you. You fucking ape. He's asking you a clear question, okay? Let's use basic good logic, okay? Is there any example in the past 50 years where another president has directed the DOJ to the same degree in which Trump has done? If you say yes, provide an example. If you say no, then it's an unprecedented thing that's never happened. You can't say, well, maybe it happened in the background, but I don't know. That's not what they're asking you.
About the existence of aliens.
I don't know what you're trying to go to. Here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, he hasn't said it publicly, so like I can only assume that it must maybe be true that every president knows about the existence of aliens, and we can all just operate under that assumption instead of no, because we have zero evidence of it, and there would be no reason to assume it's true, right?
I have no idea where you're going here. I have no idea where you're
It's your argument in a different format, you dipshit.
Assuming that every other president has maybe done just as bad as what Trump has done with the DOJ, only because they've done it clandestinely. We have
there's
zero
indicia of
evidence.
that. There's indicia of that.
Okay, what's one example?
When you refute the indicia, which I said, if you're weaponizing your tax agency, you think you're not weaponizing your DOJ? That's the first place you go is hey, let's harass them with taxes.
There's not even
You think
that,
that's
but
the
we're not
first thing that
talking about
happens?
we're not talking about the IRS. I'm talking about the Department of Justice. Whereas the President of the
Yeah,
United States told
and
the
my
Department of
point
Justice on
is-
who to prosecute. There's no just
I
say
don't
there's
know.
no
We saw-
examples. That's
we
fine.
saw-
You're going to say there's no examples of that in the public
Oh,
record.
what's Jack Smith? What's Jack Smith?
Jack
What's
Smith
that?
was a special counsel that was appointed by the Attorney General.
Yeah, but who's Attorney General work for?
The Attorney General didn't communicate because you say who does he work for? That's
Who does he
not-
work for?
The American people. The Attorney General is appointed
No, he doesn't.
by the President of the United States. The
No,
Attorney
he
General
doesn't.
does
We
not
covered
take.
that.
The AG does not take orders from the President on who to prosecute.
Really? Really? Then why Merrick Garland just decide to appoint someone? Why did they not go through the normal confirmation process with Jack Smith? So much so that the case in Florida got tossed out because he didn't have jurisdiction to actually bring
The
the
case in Florida got tossed out because Thomas wrote some incredibly stupid thing about how Jack Smith wasn't legally appointed or whatever. That was the only special prosecutor who wasn't legally appointed. But the reality is
Why wasn't he
would
legally
even,
appointed?
Why would he even need that special prosecutor when Merrick Garland himself could just go after Donald Trump? And also, this is all a pivot. So you just say you can't give an example of somebody going after a political opponent like Donald Trump has.
No, what I'm saying is that if you're going after people with your IRS, you're certainly going after them with your DOJ.
So no, you can't. Can you name any executive orders besides the ones written by Trump that have targeted particular people?
Okay, so I'll explain to the law, and I say, can you refute the law? And then when you try refuting, I'll say, so no, you can't. You see, that's not. You're trying to win an argument rather than make a point.
I'm making the point I'm making is that not a there are no presidents in U.S. history that have given direct instructions to their attorney generals to go after political opponents, even naming out the unqualified prosecutor that they want to use, the unappointed, unconfirmed one, the unconfirmed prosecutor to use to go after them.
You think Alyssa Slotkin? You think Mark Kelly is a political?
Do you see this pivot?
No, I mean,
do you see this pivot?
I'm asking a question. I'm not pivoting. I'm asking a question. What you just said. What you just said.
Donald Trump's truth social.
God damn, bro. They can never take the L on their side, dude. You know what's crazy? When they bring up BLM, we just say, yeah, a lot of that shit was retarded. When they bring up trans stuff, we'd be like, sorry, dude, I'm not here to talk about that dumb shit. I'm here to talk about this. And you're the side that, no, you have no idea what my politics are on any of those topics. But I'm not here to have that conversation. Let's talk about this. Like, Jesus Christ. And if they really want it, be like, bro, I thought BLM was fucking stupid. It's absolutely a terrible idea. And BLM has stole millions of dollars from every corporation and every American, and they put it in the pockets of their own businesses and their own friends and family. BLM was not a good movement. It caused untold amount of damage to our country. It caused the media apparatus to look completely unhinged and made them look like complete amateurs. BLM was a bad movement all the way through. The premise of BLM was a good one because Black lives do matter. But guess what's crazy? The BLM movement was always bad. It was bad in 2014 when it showed up on college campuses demanding that a white teacher be persecuted because he dared talk about the differences of, IQs between blacks and whites. Okay, we should essentially completely shut around a fucking a teacher because we don't like his politics. Who gives a fuck, dude? BLM has always been bad. I don't have to defend BLM, and I'm not going to. You just call it out. You don't have to defend every portion of an argument that you don't like. You can be an individual, bro. It's crazy.
Social, where he says that Pam Bondi needs to go after 3 people. He names what was
They're
it?
his political opponents.
Yes.
They're a threat to him. Are they a threat to him?
No, they made him mad because he's a narcissist.
No, so I'm saying, so they're not his political opponents. They're just people who made him mad.
Yes. Those are politically. They're his political opponents. Yes.
Why? No. What makes them a political opponent? Political opponent is someone who you're actually, competing with in politics.
So the president has no political opponents because he's the president of the United States and no one else is running for his office anymore? Stop. This is what a stupid argument that you're trying to make right now. Donald Trump targeted people on a political basis, not on a prosecutorial. Not he thought they broke the law, and you can't give me any examples of anybody else doing anything even remotely similar. You can't. You have none.
We have to. Again, I'm gonna have to. Do I have to have timers in this shit? Right.
No, you need to be a debate moderator. And when people lie and weasel their way through conversations, you need to hold them accountable and put their feet to the fire. Reporters need to start doing this too. We need to stop this fucking trite bullshit where these people that come in and lie about everything. It cost us an election. It put Donald Trump in the White House. He's cut funding to USAID that was legally allocated money for that department. Millions of people around the globe are dying. We have economic crisis after economic crisis around the globe. These people and their lies have destabilized a world. And you have a platform and a responsibility to do your job. Why else do you get paid, Wick? I live off $100 a month. I'm a small YouTuber. You are like 5 times my size. I have 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers, bro. You're like at hundreds of thousands, bro. What the fuck? Do your job.
Right? Do I have to have 1 minute for one side, 1 minute for the other? I hoped we could have like an actual back and forth conversation, but this.
How can we have a back and forth conversation when one side lies every word they speak? And by you letting them do it, you're giving them carte blanche to do so. You are a moderator. If they should feel bad coming on your platform. It should feel adversity. It should feel like a bad thing. Shit, I gotta go talk to Whick today. Fuck, that guy's a ball buster. Fuck. Stop thinking about money and start thinking about fucking ethics. Holy fuck, dude.
This is
I
frustrating.
actually don't mind the way he's been trying to cut me off. I do think he actually makes his argument sound weaker when he's trying to desperately say, "You're saying nothing, you're stupid. You're saying nothing, you're stupid," rather than actually trying to make a point back.
I did make a point. You can give example. You were pointing this IRS thing that led to no criminal charges. Even Donald Trump's own DOJ didn't pursue anything more after that.
I also pointed to Biden's DOJ trying to prosecute him.
Because he broke the law. Just somebody trying to.
God damn it. Oh my God, dude.
The topic.
No, somebody trying to prosecute you. Somebody is not. No, this is on topic. Trust me. Somebody trying to prosecute you doesn't mean that you're being politically hunted. It's because he broke the law flagrantly and openly.
Broke the law flagrantly and openly.
Yes.
So much so that the ones you actually got convictions on, no one can even understand what law he broke.
Well, I'm not talking. I'm talking about the Mar-a-Lago cases. I'm talking about the Mar-a-Lago cases. And guess what? There were more convictions in that than there were in any IRS bullshit you're bringing up, right?
You tell me, Destiny, if it's so obvious, if everything there was so crystal clear, why did they not bother going through the normal confirmation process with Jackson?
This is completely irrelevant to the question. The fact that they even use a special counsel. No, the fact that they even use a special counsel shows that Biden is not directly ordering his attorney general.
True. If they were using a special counsel, it wasn't coming directly from the president. The special counsel exists when there's a conflict of interest with the president. So clearly he wasn't directing it, or else there wouldn't be a special counsel.
But he wasn't an actual special counsel. That's my point. He was just an extension of Garland, who's an extension of Biden. They pretended
so
it
did
was.
Biden order this? Did Biden order this? Did Biden order this?
I have no idea if Biden. I don't
so
know
then we're not on topic. We're not even talking about
So
this.
it's not an
So maybe
example
Merrick
of doing the
Garland
same
is
thing
the
as
deep
Trump?
state secret agent.
No, what I'm saying is I don't think Biden himself do it, but I definitely think people who work for him in the Oval Office, who are the ones who are, you know.
And we're talking about a president telling his AG to go after his political rivals. So when you say, I don't know if Biden did it, why the fuck are we talking about this? This has no point. There's nothing in your statement here worthy of moral consideration and has nothing to do with the point that's being debated.
Controlling his automatic pen.
Yeah.
I think those people are the ones who are controlling Merrick Garland and Jack Smith.
What is
100%.
the evidence we have right now so far of the auto pen? Just curious. Not the one that Trump got caught using, but the one that Biden was supposedly using. What's the evidence we have so far for that?
Now you're going. My point is, you're asking me if Biden did it. I'm saying
you just made another bullshit claim. Oh, who told Merrick Garland then? Since you seem to know this, just tell us. You have nothing. Everything you say is a lie. How many people were convicted? You said that Donald Trump's 34 felonies and convictions were bullshit. How many people were convicted over the Obama tax fraud stuff? How many people got convicted from that? Keeping in mind that Donald Trump was the next. The answer is 0. So this isn't even remotely.
How are you going to bring up a point and then not know the outcome of that, bro? This man's a fucking lawyer, dude.
Equivalent, because that whole case was bullshit. Everybody knew it.
So now you're living in the naive world where you think that if you can, that because no one prosecuted folks from the Obama administration,
if they had something to prosecute them on, they would have done it. They had every political incentive to do so. So yes, if they had enough evidence, which is how we determine when someone is guilty of a crime and we charge them with a crime, we do that. If we can't prove anything, we don't do it.
and that means everything there was 100% above board.
It was investigated and there were no charges recommended. And Donald Trump was the next president, and he investigated and he didn't recommend.
No charges brought against Hillary for when
Hillary didn't break the law.
That she did.
Hillary didn't break any.
Oh yeah, dude. These people are so broken. Hillary. God damn it. Oh my God, dude. These dude, Republicans need to just go. There's no hope for them.
Any laws?
I don't even think you believe that.
I know that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's.
I don't think you.
What law do you think she broke?
I'm pretty sure you didn't hold that position 8 years ago.
What law did she break? What did she break? What was the proof that she was intentionally retaining classified material, like Donald Trump was at Mar-a-Lago? You at least acknowledge that Donald Trump was intentionally retaining classified material at Mar-a-Lago.
He also lied constantly and moving it around. Refused to listen to any of the calls and beckons from the council that was investigating him. They waited 2 years to go in. Had they not waited, Donald Trump probably would be in jail, and we wouldn't have a psychopath as our president. and millions of people wouldn't be dying to curable diseases.
Knew it was there, and he knew it wasn't supposed to be there, and he hid it from investigators when they came to find it.
I think he intentionally held documents in Mar-a-Lago.
Okay, that's good. And obstructed the investigation.
That's the first thing you said. I don't know if he
the text messages were leaked of him telling his attorney and his interns to move the documents every time they came to look for them. That is literally impeding an investigation. He was charged with that. So he just admitted that Donald Trump was guilty of the crime that he was charged for, but he also earlier said that Donald Trump was wrongfully persecuted by Biden. He was guilty of the crime, dude.
Legally obstructed it, but I can hear an argument. I actually thought that of all the cases that they brought against him, the Mar-a-Lago case probably had the most sound legal footing.
Okay, so if he's willing to admit that, it was a slam dunk. So what did Hillary do that was obviously and clearly against the law?
I mean, we can go into Hillary, but this is really flying far afield. My point is, the only reason I brought up Hillary was not.
You bring up a point. We ask you to clarify why you bring up that point, and then you say we're going too far away from the debate topic. You're a lawyer, dude. You do this for a living. Destiny's a retard who plays video games. What's happening?
Not to devolve into a whole conversation as to her illegal conduct. The point was that no matter how nefarious people are, if you're in Washington and you're a Democrat, you're not going to get prosecuted for it, and you'll never get
really, because Anthony Weiner got completely ejected from the party. We literally kicked out Bill Clinton from office. Literally, that one dude, Al Sharpton or whatever, had to ruin his career. Or not Al Sharpton. There was one of them. He used to be an actor or some shit. I can't remember his fucking name. His career ended over some bullshit. Like, what are you talking about? We hold Democrats responsible all the time. All the time. What are you talking about?
Convicted. There's no way you're going to get convicted.
What happened to Hunter Biden? What happened to Hunter Biden?
Hunter Biden was a gift. And Hunter Biden was a gift.
Pivot? Do you do this now? I'm just curious, like person. Is this an ordinary mental process for you? Do you have to think about how hard you pivot from everything?
You know, when a guy has to hang up a sign that has fake books on it because he doesn't own real books, that should probably be a good tell that the guy's not what he says he is.
You said no Democrat got convicted, and I just gave you a guy.
Convicted?
Yes, of two different crimes.
No, he was pleading.
Which counts as a conviction.
No, but you can't get a jury to do it.
What are you talking?
You can't get a jury to do it.
Then wait, if he couldn't get a jury to do it, then why did he take a plea deal? Wait, if he knew he was going to beat every jury, then why did he take the plea deal?
What is the difference legally between a conviction by plea deal and a conviction by jury?
Well, he's trying to make the argument that the jury wouldn't convict because everybody's so biased and he can't get a fair trial anywhere because all the Democrats love everybody in D.C.
No, not anywhere.
Then why?
Not anywhere in D.C.
So then why did he take a plea deal if he knew he would always beat the jury because they love Democrats so much?
Because the entire point of the Hunter Biden prosecution was to try and give cover that there was some legitimacy to the Trump prosecutions. That's why. That's the only reason they didn't.
So Comey and Jim Jordan were all on board with the Democratic Party here? What evidence do you have of this?
I mean, no. What I'm saying.
Oh my god, dude! I can't. I'm gonna die. I'm not even gonna make it, dude. We're only an hour in. It's been 2 hours.
Wait, do you have any evidence of this?
100. What do you mean? Do I have any evidence of this?
A single shred of evidence.
Charges.
Why
didn't bring the most serious charges?
Why not? Why not?
Because it wasn't a real prosecution.
Yes, because it was Republican. It was a bullshit Republican talking point. Yeah, I agree. Started by who started that? Who started the whole sham prosecution into Hunter Biden? It was Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani. Why do you think he was impeached?
It should have been a real prosecution.
It wasn't though, because the confidential informant that started off that whole prosecution lied about everything. Donald Trump and Giuliani literally made phone calls to Zelensky begging him to announce this sham prosecution.
He was impeached for it.
That's why it went nowhere. It was bullshit from the very start.
Okay.
Are we actually going back to 2018?
Just real quick, Soy Pill's been wanting in.
Sorry, go ahead.
I want to make sure.
Yeah, if you want to recenter the debate a little bit, the whole reason we're talking about all this Trump bullshit is because we're talking about how he has fostered the environment for inflamed rhetoric and violence and all this other stuff. And it seems like you're willing to get on your knees and defend literally anything that he did. So can you, other than not being fascist enough, is there a single thing you think Trump has done to contribute to the inflammatory, violent nature and rhetoric of what's going on right now?
I definitely think of things that he's done wrong during this administration. But as far as him inflaming it,
rhetoric.
I mean, I certainly, I would think that some of the things he says definitely gets people angry. So if to that extent, I would think that, yeah.
Okay, so that sounds like the charitable, well, you're triggered. I'm saying, does he do something wrong that is contributing to the violent nature and the tensions in this country? Because that's like the first axiom of this whole National Guard thing. We're never going to move past it if you can't admit that he's at least done that.
I don't think he sits there trying. Well, let me think that through.
Okay, so like after Charlie,
I want to think through. I want before.
let him
before
think,
I want to actually think.
I'm giving him an
think
example.
about your
I'm bailing
question.
him out right now. So
No, I don't need you. I don't need you to bail me out.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
just let him.
The last thing I need is for you to bail me out. Yeah.
You need a bailout bad, dog. You were woefully unprepared for this. Your other buddy is a pussy bitch for leaving you out here.
I think that some of the things he says is designed to troll. So I think that a fair claim can be made that definitely amps up the rhetoric.
I don't know why every single like horrible thing Trump does, you have to lube up so it'll fit into your mouth. So what I'm saying,
I love these guys. God, I love the dirtbag lefts. They're the heroes of reason and logic, but they're gonna talk shit the entire time. They're my people.
Is when after Charlie Kirk got blasted.
See, if you were less filthy, I'd have more respect for you.
Total Trump dick suck.
I don't give a fuck about your respect. Answer the fucking question, retard. I'm not here to play nice. No one should be. You are making a point. You are making a statement. You are telling people that your idea is the way that the world should be oriented. That's what you vote for. That's what you practice. You need to make a claim. I'm not here to be nice to you. No one is.
Maybe we could have a real conversation.
If you were less filthy, I would have more respect for you. I can have a real conversation with you.
I have zero respect for you, so I'm not going to be less filthy.
No, I love it. I have zero respect. Facts. You are not a human. You are my enemy. We're having a conversation. We're trying to determine the heartbeat of my country. You are not my friend if you think that Donald Trump isn't fascist enough. If you don't agree to democracy and the thought of individualism, we are not allies. You stand as my opposition.
Here, can we talk, please? Okay.
No, you see,
hey, Whick, can I talk? Because I've been listening to this.
I'm not gonna. Okay, you can sit there pretending
Hold on,
that you're
just
going
stop.
somewhere.
Stop. Everyone stop. Everyone stop. Everyone stop. Good logic. Finish, and then Soy Pill can finish.
I didn't finish. He interrupted me.
No, what I'm simply saying is that I might have no respect for you, but I'm still going to at least fake it.
No! Just say what you fucking think. Stop placating it. Stop dolling it up. Stop making it pretty. Say what you think. We're tired of the fakeness. Just say it. Say it with your chest. Quit hiding like a bitch.
Why?
Because I was bred by two parents.
I don't care about your personal life.
I was bred by two parents who actually
Well, they fucking failed you, okay? Shut the fuck up and answer the question.
Taught me how to engage in discourse. You're not winning an argument if you're just calling me some dick sucker or whatever stupid childish word you want to throw at me.
To the point I'm making. It is clear you're a dick suck. I want to make an actual logical statement afterwards, okay?
That's not actually making a point.
Yeah.
But he makes a point after calling you a dick suck. You can ad hom and also make a point. Matter of fact, it's not an ad hom if you make a point. Talking shit is not bad as long as you still make a point.
Well,
you're not making a point.
You interrupted me before I got to the logical part.
Well, you would get there a lot faster if you wouldn't waste everyone's.
He doesn't want to get there. He'd get there faster if you'd shut the fuck up. But here we are. It's not about speed, dipshit.
By trying to show that you're such a man that you can use words that are used by fifth graders.
Do you look at me and tell me that I'm trying to appear as such a man? Tell me that.
Dude is wearing a fucking Dennis the Menace hat and has Pickle Rick in the background. He's an entertainer, you fucking dipshit.
Please.
Touche.
Can I will agree with good logic here. Hold on. Sorry, Bill, can you please stop trying to act like Donald Trump does on social media every single day? That good logic thinks is epic and hilarious. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, yeah. So when Donald Trump said after the Kirk shooting, and we didn't know anything at all about the shooter, and said, this is the left, they're coming for you, they're violent, we're going to stop them, we're going to root out this evil in our country, he called Democrats pests. This was not, he trolled. This was not, he said things that made people mad. This was him inflaming the rhetoric. Would you agree with that?
I think he was speaking out of fury.
Wait, okay. That doesn't matter. Is the intent...
Wait, speaking of fury to inflame the rhetoric. That's what.
No, it's not. I don't. You're saying that his objective is to inflame the.
No, he never said that. You can inflame the rhetoric without
You're saying that's
it being
why.
intentional.
And I'm saying I don't think that's.
What is this standard? Hold on.
I'm not saying it's okay. I didn't say it's okay.
No one said it was okay. We asked if it was inflaming the rhetoric. You don't have to intend to inflame the rhetoric to inflame the rhetoric.
Well, you said the reason he did it was to inflame the rhetoric.
No, I think he just asked if it did inflame the rhetoric.
Well, we can go back to the tape if you want.
Well, ask that question. Soy Pill, do you think... Sorry, let's pretend he said that. Did it inflame the rhetoric?
Yes.
Possibly. Oh, my God.
Oh. Oh, my God, dude.
Wait, possibly, like, I can only know if I see the secret documents that the previous presidents are hiding and will never reveal, or possibly, like, yeah, probably, but I haven't looked at the polling afterwards or how the entire right reacted to his statements.
No, possibly in the sense that I don't think it's something that's really calculable.
Then nothing is calculable, right?
Well, can I ask?
No, you're saying, in what way is it inflamed? What was it at? What is it measured? Like,
as in, if you're a follower of Donald Trump, you feel like you have invulnerability from the laws because you know that Donald Trump will pardon you if you commit crimes on his behalf or if you commit violence on his behalf.
I disagree. Logical failures have no place in political discourse. One of the many reasons why I don't like Donald Trump. You got guys asking if things inflame rhetoric, cognitive dissonance much? No, you're just wrong. No, you don't get to make an appeal to like being a decent person when you vote for Donald Trump, whose entire campaign was run on hating people. You're just wrong. Donald Trump ran on this. His entire party has done nothing but bring all that shit up. And you voted for it numerous times. He ran on like Nancy Pelosi's husband should have been killed. He ran on lock her up. No. You don't get to ask us to be kind in a political discourse after you ratchet up tension for fucking 8 years. Not after you led an insurrection against this country. Not after you invalidated the rights of 6 states and millions of Americans. Not after a handful of people died because of the direct actions of your followers. No, you don't get to ask us to be civil when we talk to you. No. Until that side stops doing it, that side stops calling for civil war, that side stops ratcheting up political tension, we need to continue suit. Because if we just toe the line, we're going to fall into a tit-tat for strategy, okay? No, fuck that. Donald Trump learned nothing from 2020 to 2024. He ran on the same campaign. He ran on the election being stolen. We put him in the office still. No. Democrats have always tried when they go low, we go high. It ends, and it needs to end today. If they want to be fucking subhuman pieces of shit, we need to join them. We need to get in the mud. And if it keeps ratcheting up tension, fuck it, civil war comes. That's what they want anyway. Why not give it to them? What the fuck? You cannot be someone who's victimized constantly over and over and over and over and be like, well, you know what, you guys just gotta let it happen. No! The Republicans are the problem. Full stop. Democrats are not the problem. Democrats have called to tone down political violence by every one of our thought leaders, by every one of our presidents, by every one of our fucking political talking heads. Everyone came out against the violence. When Donald Trump sends people illegally to a state that he has no right to do so, the governors come out and be like, guys, let's be good. Let's not ratchet up the tension. Let's not give Donald Trump more fuel to the fire that he's stoking. They are not the same. And to sit here and say they're the same, you are fucking unplugged from reality, bro. Too many bootlickers without meaning for life cling to tribalism? No, you're just wrong. One party is doing it over and over and over. You're just wrong. And you don't even watch debate. You just read. Like you're talking in an entire area that you don't even participate in, bro.
Because he said that when the right commits violence, it's righteous. And when the left commits violence, it's just them being unhinged.
You're saying it inflamed the rhetoric. How did that manifest into any damage? Tell me who was harmed because of what he said. Tell me one person who was harmed since Charlie Kirk by the left. That you're saying that he's making such a dangerous circumstance. So you tell me the person on the left who's been victimized because of that tweet, or the entire
The whole country has been victimized. What do you mean?
Tell me one person who actually went out there and did anything violent because of something Trump ever said.
There are a handful of them. A MAGA guy went in and fucking killed 2 lawmakers, bro. What do you mean? It was like a month before Charlie Kirk got shot. And he expressly said that he was doing it for Donald Trump. My 2 favorite politicians are Republicans, Thomas Massie and Rand Paul. No.
Any of the left doing violent stuff against any conservative. The left-leaning people committing violence can be attributed to some extent to what the right-leaning president says. You don't think you can inflame violence against people on the other side?
So when he says that the left is deliriously deranged and dangerous, that now is inflaming the left and justifies them actually manifesting that by going out and killing people.
Did Biden never say anything like that? I didn't say justify. Why did you add that word in there? Where did justifies come from? Is the other person in the call again that I can't hear?
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
When did I ever say it justified the left being violent? Hold on. I just want, just to be clear, crystal clear, so the court reporter can hear, get it on the record. You don't think that the president of the United States can say things that would incite the other side to violence? You don't think the president of the United States can do that? He doesn't have that power? When he speaks, only his own side hears him?
Your point is that he's
Why can't he ever answer a question? Holy shit.
I don't understand your point.
You just can't answer a question. It's a simple question. No, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me rephrase. Can a guy say mean thing that even the guy's enemies think is a really mean thing and makes them do bad things? Is that possible?
And you think it's more likely they listen to him than to the
I don't even understand what's happening. It's got to be intentional. It has to be intentional.
I gotta translate because I think
No, don't translate what I'm saying. I'm gonna start screaming racial slurs. He knows exactly what I'm saying. It's a game. This is a game.
That's a perfect.
Oh no, racial slurs. Oh no.
All right, flawed logic. Get this. All right, if it's a white guy and a black guy, and they're having an argument, and the white guy busts out the N-word, do you think that's turning up the rhetoric? Because it might make the other guy more angry. So the white guy's not getting more angry, but he has turned up the rhetoric, right, by introducing this horrible slur. Is that possible that you can inflame the other side?
That's theoretically possible. I think it's a childish perspective to believe that's actually what happens.
You don't think that's?
Oh my god, I'm done, dude. I can't do this. It's been 2 fucking hours. This guy's a fucking total retard. I'm losing my mind, bro. I'm ready to fight the world right now. This is fucking insane. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do this anymore. Like they're so stupid. They're so fucking stupid. It's actually aggravating. I feel like I'm dying right now. I'm gonna go die right now. Ironically, if I do die after this, that'd be fucking hilarious. Anyway, I'm getting the fuck out of here, dude. I will not be here Thursday or Friday. I got to take my girlfriend to a couple towns over. She's getting some kind of thing done. It's not my place to talk about her medical stuff. But it is a scary thing on her behalf, so she's a little freaked out right now. So some well wishes would be a good thing, and hopefully we get a good fucking prognosis, I suppose. But it would be a fucked up way for God to give me all of this level of joy and happiness only to fucking take it away, eh? Fucking A, dude. Let's go. We love Kia. Hell yeah, dude. So Thursday, Friday, I won't be around. I'm going to do a couple more reactions tonight. I'm going to make sure videos go live while we're still out doing stuff. And if Kia's feeling up to it, Friday we might try and sneak in and do a surprise reaction or something. I don't know. Or like a surprise stream Friday night. Because Friday we also then have to go to the Regina, which is pretty far away. It's about a 2-hour drive. And get her passport renewed so she can go to a wedding in the States. But anyway, I'll let you guys know. Hopefully I come back Friday afternoon with good news, but we probably won't know the news until probably the week next. So we're going to go get this stressful shit out of the way so we can get down to just enjoying shit. Anyway, you guys have yourself a wonderful day. I love you. Be safe. Party hard, dude. I got my screams out today, dude. I feel way better after all that shit, though. I ain't gonna lie, dude. I feel like I got to go to a center of a fucking arena and just scream at the top of my. I feel so much better. Like, stress is evaporated from my blood, dude. Anyway, love you guys. Be safe. And we use the R word around here. Full send. Don't give a fuck.